you Hello everyone and welcome to the PS4 Tournament's Mortal Kombat 11 Open Series Invitational. We're on the third week of March and we're here for the North American bracket. We just finished Europe, one of the shortest days I think that we've had ever, but a pretty wild one. I had a lot of fun watching it. I am Wonder Chef joining Ketchup. Ketchup, how's the day been so far for you?
Fast. It was, I think, the longest break in between that we've ever had, and that just came through a lot of one-sided results. The absolute dominance of K-Top that after a first round in winners loss went all the way through losers, dominating his way forward, getting the runbacks, and then I think, fastest grand finals that we've ever had. Now, for those wondering what the PS4 tournaments is all about, it is this overarching program that combines both the official pro competition and the Open Series under one roof. So let's check that out for a second.
Sangue Frio é o primeiro campeão aqui da primeira etapa da Liga Latina. Sensacional!
Look at this damage. Very doable.
Jokes, no gimmicks, just combat.
PlayStation.
And now the pro competition, something that we've had many weeks of so far. And we can see clearly North America, Intercontinental, and Liga Latina all included. They have their multiple sub-regions, which basically collects as much territories as possible and allows them to play competitively in online tournaments. There is that $60,000 prize pool that is split across all the different leagues, and it goes alongside the Open Series, Chef.
It does. Yeah, that's been a real fun series to watch, but really all of the big Mortal Kombat tournaments that we've had here from the PS4 tournaments have been really fun to watch. Like I said, we just came off of the European bracket ending just a couple of hours ago, where it did end up with K-Top really showing that he is one of the most unstoppable forces in the European region, where in grand finals he went up against a little bit of a surprise pick where the Terminator, that's the name of the character, the Terminator pick out of Serious Hitman was just incredible the entire day. And that was really so fun to watch. I really hope we get to see a lot more Terminator action, but one way or another, Europe is always going to be fun to watch. And I think we should just move forward to North America, because that's going to be a whole different type of entertaining.
It will, because in EU, we had some players that we hadn't seen for some time making a return, some debuts, actually, which, believe it or not, after about 9 or 10 months, we're still getting players making their debut in Open Series. It's never too late. That's what I'm trying to hint for that one. But today's bracket is standard for North America. A lot of players that we've seen a bunch before, whether it was online, whether it was, in online tournaments a while ago, who knows? And we got to see the Snakebite Kano for Biohazard putting in the absolute work and becoming one of the scariest things that we've seen in PS4 tournaments history for MK. But we'll talk about the bracket in due time. Tweedy, always able to try and bring that A game, and Bio, I mean, if you're a fan of Biohazard, he gave you one hell of a display last week. And I believe, if memory serves, it actually was all with Snakebite Biohazard Kano, which is unusual. It's actually more like Bio to change up different characters, variations, yada, 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 every single time, and depending on the opponent and matchup. But this tournament, it was this variation pretty much all the way. That was disgusting, and we had to see it again.
Yeah, it was, I think, the first time that he ever won a tournament with just solely one single variation, and hopefully we get a chance to see more of that today. But as you can see, the winners from the past month have been pretty varied overall. You know, Biohazard winning 2, Tweety winning 2, and for the first time, Mighty Unjust only winning 1 when usually, you know, he is the dominant force. But things have changed. Everything's up in the air, and a lot of the top players that we saw there are going to be here today. All 3 of those players, plus some other extremely terrifying threats, including our first match, or the top of the bracket, where El Kukui is going to take on Breaking 2. Of course, both of those players have been here a million times. And then Tweety versus the Mighty Unjust, the game that has been grand finals so many times, is also going to be played out in round 1. And then moving down, Illuminati is going to take on Perfect Shini, who is a player that I'm not as familiar with. And then at the bottom, Biohazard taking on Esryu Pain, who actually I feel like we haven't seen for a little bit, or haven't seen as much recently at least. So definitely a lot of players that we're used to, a lot of players that we saw a lot even early in the Open Series. And I don't think we're going to have too many huge surprises today, except for maybe some upsets.
I mean, the big one there for the first round is that it's that Mighty Unjust versus Tweedy in round 1. Can and has been a grand finals, but this time we're treated to it being our first matchup. Now, when it comes to prize money, it is $250 for first place, $150 for second, and then third and fourth getting $100 each. That is the weekly basis, and in that 5th tournament of the month, the monthly finals, that's where the extra prize money comes from. And seeing as a lot of different players are able to constantly get that top 4 finish, considering they're staying at home and they're grinding Mortal Kombat anyway, it makes sense to enter them. And they do. For those that want to do that very same thing, it's simple as going to compete.playstation.com. If you want more information on the Open Series, for not just Mortal Kombat, but for other games too, we have a monthly finals for Soul Calibur, BB Tag, Under Night, all of it can be found over on the Competition Center, as well as unique content featuring interviews, gameplay tips and tricks, and tech. Pretty much everything you could ever want for competitive Mortal Kombat can be found on the website. So get involved, check it out, and hopefully we'll see you on a stream one day. Now, Chef, it is time to start our first matchup. Now, normally El Kakoi is traveling home from work today, so we have to normally swap the order. But I think, so I've not been instructed otherwise, and the brackets here, the graphics come under. I think he's here this time. So we're going to start off with El Kakoi versus Breaking. Breaking playing Liu Kang and Sub-Zero, a mixture of the two. I guess sometimes it feels like the matchup, maybe it's how he's feeling on the day. El Kakoi is, who knows who he's going to play.
Yeah, El Kukui, much like his brother, the Mighty Unjust, plays a million characters, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with how good both of those players are, as they train a lot of matchups with each other. Now, these two characters that Breaking 2 plays are both very, very common characters for the Mighty Unjust, so you'd have to expect that El Kukui has a good amount of experience against them, but I don't know who the picks overall are going to be. We could very well see like a Sub-Zero mirror at some point maybe here. We see the Shang Tsung quite a bit. Maybe we see the Johnny Cage come out. That's been a character that people have chosen against Liu Kang a good amount, but honestly, I never know. You know, that's... there's a lot more surprises as far as like success and loss in the European bracket, but in North America, it's mostly a question of what characters is everybody going to pick, because almost everybody, not everybody, like Tweety stays the same usually, but a lot of other players, it's like, who knows? Just throw a dart at the character select screen and whatever it hits, that's who they're playing today.
So the character that Breaking goes, I think, might be heavily dictated by what character El Kakoi picks, because with Breaking, we're going into it with, I think, more concrete information. It's going to be the Sub-Zero or the Liu Kang, which is what months and months and months has grown to teach us. El Kakoi, the thing is, Chef, he plays a lot of top tiers. He's got Joker, Cetrion, we've seen him play Jackie, Sub-Zero, but also we have recently started to see a Raiden, but it's Raijin. It's basically Raijin Raiden completely, and that's also looked really good. I'd like to see that more, just for variety's sake. It's a bit biased, I guess, from me personally. I just like to see different characters, but he's picked Raiden, and it's looked really good before. So Raiden is one of those characters we could see, only now it's going to be Jackie, which means Breaking, it's going to go Liu Kang.
No way. Okay, so I think this is actually the first time that we're seeing El Kakoi pick Jackie. Despite how many different characters he's chosen before, I know for a fact that El Kakoi hates Jackie. From before Ultimate, El Kukui just absolutely despised upgraded Jackie and upgraded Jackie players. Seeing some of the chats with some of the players, it's been a thing for quite a while, which is why I think we haven't seen him pick it, but this is a new age, so I'm interested to see how he does with the character.
I've seen him use it once before, and it was only post-Ultimate. I hadn't seen him use upgraded beforehand, and I can't even remember when I saw it, because it's still one of his uncommon characters. But now we start. Breaking. Already going to hold in respect, knows the interruption's a threat. But Liu Kang, definitely a character that can fight Jackie, I think, so Breaking could still look really good in this matchup.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest strengths of Liu Kang is it's really hard to find a matchup where you feel like Liu Kang doesn't at least stand a pretty good chance, right? He's got pretty evenish matchups across the board, and he really lets you just take advantage of your actual play style rather than having to worry too much about the whole counterpick game. Oof. That was a pretty quick round. Not a lot of pressure being started from Okakui. Breaking, taking him all the way to the corner.
Fight.
Oh, there's the parry. He's just so good at enforcing that. I've never seen a Liu Kang use the parry as much as Breaking has.
Yeah, I mean, it is arguably, I'm going to say probably, down to crushing blow. That's big.
It's Liu Kang as well. Here we go.
All right, and that's got to set up the crushing blow off of the bicycle kick, I think, or maybe he needs one more, but regardless, the damage was pretty big. No fatal blow yet. That's kind of a big deal. He's honestly almost there. These normals might chip him there. Oh, not quite. Oh. And
that is savage.
Yeah, that's another big thing about Liu Kang, is that you really can't break from any of the combos, ironically, for a character named Breaking, but so much of it is grounded that your defensive bar doesn't really matter, and it doesn't really work in getting rid of any of his damage. Like, it's a lot of crushing blows, it's a lot of small hits, it's a lot of, like, corner pressure, but not a whole lot that you can escape, and we saw a pretty good example from it that game. But Breaking was a proven extremely good Liu Kang, one of the best players in the pro competition Mexico region, has been in grand finals multiple times, often playing against Ice Scorpion, who isn't here this week, but definitely one of the most solid players I think that we have here.
A player that is never to be underestimated. That's the thing. Breaking has been one of the most consistent players we have over in the North American side of Open Series. And I know that if Breaking were to go to a tournament, let's say offline one day comes back and everyone's able to travel out there and we can kind of go back to how things were. If Breaking goes into a bracket, I guarantee you, Chef, there will still be some players who don't watch PS4 tournaments going, just not knowing who Breaking is, and they will underestimate him and they won't be ready for him and he will annihilate. And it's just, he's one of those players you need to be prepared because he is so good.
Yeah, and has only gotten better over time. We used to make a frequent top 8s, but then fizzled out a little bit early, has gotten consistently higher and higher, even I believe getting into winners finals at least one time, probably multiple times. But right now, trying to continue this lead over El Kukui, who did pick the Shang Tsung. It's a character that I feel like we're seeing El Kukui go to more and more over time. It's such a good counterpick character, but I mean, Shang's just always a good general, right?
Yeah, it's hard to catch a Shang Tsung that's not in a position where he can do something. I know this is very much a pocket Shang Tsung for El Kukui that serves a matchup-specific purpose, hence the ground eruption. And this is much more of a Shang Tsung that I think we're used to. When you have that combination of straight skull, corpse drop, ground eruption, that is really unfortunate. It looks like we're kind of chugging along right now. One of our players might be having some connection troubles, perhaps. Hopefully we don't see a disconnect here, and it evens itself out, one can hope.
Yeah, it's classic. It wouldn't be a full tournament without it. But we did actually
it's hard enough trying to close in space against Shang Tsung without that happening.
See, that's his special power. That's his third variation choice, or it's actually his secret fourth variation choice. It's because he's got the spoilers, aftermath spoilers, but he's got the Chronica crown on, so he can control time quite literally.
Oh, lovely punish, though. Liu Kang definitely has some tools, but I can imagine El Kukui just must really like that matchup, considering he wasted no time going to Shang Tsung for Liu Kang. And again, he wants an even bigger punish. Bicycle kicks an opening, and now if El Kukui gets clipped, I cannot believe he got straight up hit right there, because that was a fatal blow with his name on it. Kind of like that one.
Kind of like that one, a little bit. Now, I think this is enough. It's really close though. Okay, yeah. Just barely enough. He was at just slightly higher than that, but that means he took the round, and so far it's looking pretty much like we expected, I think, where if Breaking can make it in, it's looking pretty good, but he just takes so much damage getting there, and he needs to stay in, so let's see if he can. Makes the right read. You can get a combo off of that, I think, but he didn't try it.
There's this art against someone like Shang where the ground eruption Shang will not do damage. So you have to work your way in piece by piece. I know this kind of keep away will add up eventually. Ooh, max range, just recovering instantly. That kind of gave reptile elbow dash vibes.
Ooh, I missed that.
I know, right? Yeah, those combos were so sick.
Oh, I'm surprised that wasn't crushing blow. Here we go.
Walk up.
Oh,
this
that
is unusual.
Yep, I don't know what that was. Oh, he broke away, put him in the corner, which was worse than the situation he was in before. That's super unfortunate. And I don't think that's enough, is it? Yeah, he's got one more hit, but it's going to be hard to avoid Chip this long, and instead just moves in, makes a commitment, and it looks like the Shang Tsung pick is working out pretty well.
So, as we now know there are multiple characters, we are this game of change, right? It's I change, you change. Breaking winning this first match means that if he plans on kind of returning the favor and changing characters as well, that he's going to have that final pick if it calls for it. Now, against Shang Tsung, maybe this is one of those cases that we see the change to Sub-Zero, because when Breaking plays Sub, he has the deep freeze. He uses that to shut down projectiles, to create the mix. You know, just being able to throw an ice ball and trade like it's 1992, but being able to essentially go in with that kind of move that is really good for the counter zoning game. So if there is a time to pick Sub, it might be now.
Yeah, on top of that, slide is a super effective way of dealing with the ground eruption, just as like a punish. We're not going to see that. We are going to see the commitment to the Liu Kang.
I'm not counting it out, though. I've got it in mind. I think it may be. If this game is a disaster, then maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty close, and I do like the idea of sticking to your guns, especially the fact that if he does end up losing again, he's going to have to eventually commit to somebody 100%. So if he does, Liu Kang, like I said, always going to stand a pretty good chance. He was just 1 or 2 reads away from being able to close out that last one, and he's still not down in the set, technically.
Liu Kang can fight Shang Tsung anyway, too, so it's definitely like this is a matchup thing. I think it's just more comfort for El Kakoi. But it's almost strange looking at a Shang rocking this, because we're so used to just seeing the only Shang that we see in PS4 tournaments recently being disarted with the kind of morph and the brawling and the ability to fight up close.
I know. It's like, why is he so far away? What can Shang do from that far? Wait, Shang has projectiles?
Point at the floor.
Hey, it's pretty good. That was a nice flawless block. No attempts at flying kick punishes. Look at how much damage he's taking just trying to get in. This is just not working out for him at this point. Okay, gets a knockdown. That is one of the nice advantages of the amplified low fireball, but yeah, doesn't matter. He gets a little bit of space. I mean, at least at the start of this round, El Kakui is cornered, but I don't know how much that's going to matter. He's managed to find his way out of the corner very consistently, which has been one of the reasons why he's been able to win. Ooh, he got past that third fireball and then chose not to like move forward or punish or anything.
Oh, dearie me. And the breakaway before, there was no amp to be had, and you lose the meter. This is a difficult situation for Breaking, and if he didn't change... Okay, there we go. There's that flawless block into immediate flying kick. The wake-up jump! El Kakoi just trying to stay so slippery and annoying to deal with. The Shang Tsung nature. One of the best defensive characters in the game, and you just don't get to see it much in tournament, but he's always been able to do it. And that ground eruption, I'll tell you why it's so good is that it's so untelegraphed when he goes for it. The fact that there's very little startup animation on it makes it hard to navigate. Oh, you mixy mix.
That was a great time to use that. Mixing up the low there instead of the overhead and the string. And okay, now I think there's maybe a higher chance that we're going to see a switch, because that one was pretty one-sided.
If we weren't going to see a Sub-Zero then, I think we will now.
Yeah.
I think there is a Sub-Zero in our future.
I think it's so interesting how we see so few Shang Tsungs. Honestly, to me, the most interesting thing about Open Series in general and PS4 tournaments is that the Russian players opened my eyes to the fact that I think like there was more top tiers than people were giving credit, you know, like Shang Tsung and Sindel. And it's like these characters are extremely good, and they're good at fighting the other top tiers, and then all of them only got better in Ultimate, and yet we still don't see a lot of them, which is always going to be really confusing to me. But I mean, hey, El Kakoi picking up and using him well, but breaking, deciding not to go to the Sub-Zero, pretty surprising.
I think it's surprising too. Considering Breaking is the kind of character that, when his back's against the wall, has actually been known to pick Sub-Zero, this is historically one of the times he would do it. But right now, must just feel comfortable in the Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung matchup, and going to give him his props for it, sticking to it. Hopefully it works out in this next game. But to aid on your talking point, Chef, I think there's always been this nature of there being a rather distinct difference in the character choices for EU versus NA. There are some characters that you see all the time in NA that you almost never see in EU. For example, we don't see a lot of Liu Kang. We don't see a lot of Geras, especially. Over in North America, we see these characters a lot more often. I think that style of Shang Tsung is something that, again, we don't see in America. I think one of the only players that I've seen kind of really start to use morphs is kind of Zentai, perhaps, back in the day. I don't know if he still is these days, but it's definitely an interesting talking point. Favorite characters and stuff like that. But here we go, Breaking. Finds the opportunity and opening. The regular jump, though. Ooh!
Yeah, El Kakoi has been not afraid at all to just jump. I mean, a lot of times when he's cornered, all he does is he's just like, yeah, okay, I'm just going to jump through over you. And it works. Even if it's blocked, he's giving himself all that space. And this is looking just like a repeat. I think we need to see some more flying kicks, just even as a read, because at this point, he's just taking so much damage.
And it's damage that's adding up. It's every single projectile is working out. That's a lovely flawless block on the Shang Tsung jump in. Oh, there's the up 3. Every time El Kakoi has had a chance to steal his turn back, by God, he's done it.
I mean, that's his big plan here, just walk back, throw projectiles, and then steal your turn back. And he's playing it perfectly. That's definitely what his Shang was designed for, That's why it's not one of his mains. It's a counter pick for people who need to get in. Oh, okay, doesn't get punished with the grab.
Oh. The problem with this grab is that we're going full screen, and that's exactly where El Kakoi wants to be. We go back to back. These flawless blocks, a last chance. But again, you're looking to flawless block, and then he just points at the ground. You can't see it coming.
I know, it's so fast, and there's so much chip damage, and there just isn't.
Can you believe
really
the corpse drop did more once upon a time?
I know. It was the single strongest projectile in the entire game, but that was a different time. Yet this character is still good with maybe my favorite friendship in the game. Such a classic. And unfortunately, Breaking just didn't seem like he had an answer for the zoning Shang Tsung. He was playing super solid, especially in that first game, but, sometimes, this is something I feel like that happens a lot in the North American brackets, is sometimes one of the players finds like the key to the matchup, like one character, one play style that the other person just doesn't know how to fully answer. And they're like, okay, I'm going to ride this all the way to the win. And that's what happened. And Breaking is going to have to figure something out, because from now on, when these two meet in tournament, which is going to be very often in the Open Series, that this is going to be the matchup that they're going to play. Or at the very least, it's going to be Shang Tsung from the side of El Kakoi.
They take a lot from each other, El Kakoi and Mighty Unjust. They play a similar pool of characters, they have similar play styles, and I think they definitely both go into tournaments with this idea of, I will find the character you struggle with, and until proven otherwise, I will use it. Because if you're a competitor, it makes sense. It makes sense to do that. That if you're fighting a player, it's just the number one rule of combat: know your enemy. And if you know they can't deal with a certain character, why would you pick anyone else? Until they prove that they have this upper hand. Sometimes it can take weeks, months, to find that solution.
Yeah,
And,
look,
it just works.
Look back at Biohazard's aversion to Sub-Zero, to say the very least. And that was something that took him literally, I think, months to get over. But we'll see him a little bit later, as we're going to move on to our grand finals. And by that, I mean our very first match of the day, essentially, which is going to be Tweety versus the Mighty Unjust. And the joke there was that, of course, those two players have met in grand finals. And it's just so many times, just an unbelievable amount of times. Tweety, of course, a little bit late to show up to the Open Series, but as soon as he did, it took him a few weeks to adjust, maybe like 3 weeks, and then he was in there. He's won quite a few since he's made it, and the Mighty Unjust has usually been his opponent during that time. So seeing them play in first round, it's a big mystery, but it's always a big mystery between these two, because it usually goes down to game 5 and it takes one hit. And that's all that matters. Doesn't really matter who they use, although we know it's going to be pretty much Garrett's from Tweety.
Yeah, I think I definitely need to clarify why this is the case. I see a lot of people being like, wow, why is it Tweedy versus Mighty Unjust first round? The thing about the weekly invitational was that every week is its own new experience. So everything gets factored in. Obviously, it's a kind of a format of, it's not your conventional qualification process to get into the invitational. It just comes down to how well you perform, how undefeated you are. Going 6-0 definitely helps. But your own performances week by week are the things that are basically calculated to decide who fights who in the next invitational that you see the day after. So it may look unusual that they're going head-to-head in the first round of this top 8, but every week is just seen as its own new experience, and how they play in the qualifications just dictates who fights who. And that's just why we are here now. That's why we sometimes see Biohazard versus Unjust, Bio versus Tweedy, or whoever else. It's just the way it goes. Every week is treated as its own one. And now, Tweedy versus Mighty Unjust. The thing about this is I'm not really thinking about who moves on. I'm thinking about someone in the first round of losers bracket is going to have to fight either Mighty Unjust or Tweedy. And that is a really scary scenario, I think. So it's going to be Geras coming out from Tweedy. And, Mighty Unjust is going in with the Cetrion this time. We've seen Joker, we've seen Liu Kang. We've done Jackie too, but now Cetrion, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't really seen him try this all that much against Tweedy, so this should be pretty interesting. This is a matchup that I know Geras has a certain amount of tools that work very well in. You know, I mean, Sand Trap is really good against anybody who's trying to control space, and it can punish like whiffed Hell's Raz or just slightly misspaced Hell's Raz. There's a lot that Geras can actually do. We'll see how this actually works out. Immediate aggression from the Mighty Unjust, just dashing all the way across the screen, saying, yeah, I'm playing Rushdown Cetron. Deal with it.
Yeah, and he's definitely wanting to, I think, just make sure that you can't play the range game. That's one thing Geras does against Cetrion, is that this range distance game, all it takes is one quicksand and he's basically in there. So Mighty Unjust knows this is going to be a game of having to brawl. And now, staying at that magic range, in this case, hits a Hell's Wrath, and he's given himself a life lead, so he has something to work with. Oh, but now, like I said, he's in there.
And cornered. That's a scary spot. And of course, Tweedy, one of the best strike throw game, because that's what he's been doing since the game came out. All right, here's a conversion. Escape failed. Not that it's going to matter, but at least worth noting that he attempted to attack backwards. Okay, no full conversion again. Oh, there was no full meter, so that was actually the optimal punish that he could have gotten. And now he just needs chip. Any hit, anything right here is going to do it. I like the cancel. Oh, no, that's such a scary option. Teleporting in. Just need a chip.
He pressed there. That is fearlessness from Mighty Unjust. The fact they even traded is kind of mad to me, because we were so close to not. However, round 1 does, in fact, go. But what's next? This Cetrion pick. He's gone through so many characters, though, Chef. I wonder if Cetrion's the one. The punish!
Well, I mean, Cetrion's looking really good right here. Usually when these two play, it is a lot more back and forth than this. But, I mean, Cetrion is Cetrion, you know, considered by many to be the best character in the game right now. Definitely has the tools for everything, and is, without a doubt, up there within the top 3 at least. Oh,
this has been one hell of a game 1. Counter hit. It's going to create something for Tweedy, but he's got to make it count. A lot of wake-up options. Oh, wait, what? You almost never see Cetrion get someone high enough to juggle after down 2. That's a first for a long time.
I think in tournament, literally never seen that happen. And it was because not only was it like higher up in the air, but it's because it was so far behind her head that it gives a little bit more travel time. And that was so specific because, yeah, I think her down 2 may be the slowest recovering down 2 in the entire game, which is probably for the best. Otherwise, she would have had some ridiculous down 2 combos. But that was extremely good knowledge to not only know that that was going to be the weird backwards uppercut situation that you could combo off of for the win, but the fact that he was ready for the timing. And hey, yeah, this is looking, I think personally so far, better than most of the other matchups that they've had together, but it is still round 1 of the day, so there's still definitely a lot to be said about trying to warm up.
Yeah, that game 1 just gives you information, right? Tweedy will always be a player that you know he's going to pick Geras. You know he's going to pick this one variation of Geras because it gives him everything he could ever want. Mm-hmm. So he uses that first game as data. He knows how to fight Cetrion. You have to fight, I mean, Lord knows, you play competitively in this game, you're going to fight 1 or 2 in tournament. So Tweedy knows the matchup on its base level. The question is, how does the unjust style of things change as now we start things off kind of strong here? But that's one thing I'm actually worried about for Tweedy, is that Cetrion's down 4 being such an incredible low profile means that meaty, just oppressive body splash game that Tweedy uses, the down 4 is going to make it a lot harder to enforce.
Yeah, we may have to see him switch to some jump kicks or something like that to try and counter it, but right now just needs to continue to corner this pressure. And not going to be easy to get out. And the damage does add up to be a lot when you're in the corner and you have, say, the better spikes like Tweedy, I assume has, although I technically, I guess, haven't seen it yet this set. Oh, just backing up again, playing the zoning game. There we go. It's always just going to be one hit and then the mix-up game begins. Although the mix-up game ended just about as quickly as it began. Tweedy in that fatal blow range, which is going to be an extremely good fatal blow against Cetrion. That is absolutely the range that she wants to be in. If you jump and throw out Hell's Raz, it's pretty easy to react. Oh, that's unsafe, and that I think should be it. Going to be able to spend 2 bars if he needs to, and doesn't even. Goes for the tornado, which is actually stronger damage than natural barrier, so good call there.
Unjust. The breakaway happens, so at least Tweedy's not going to get caught by the winds. That was dangerously close to being a rather unfortunate situation. The block on the overhead again. Always trying to fuzzy. Ooh! Lovely hit confirmed. But, as always, there is Breaker. And in this case, good patience, actually, for Mighty Unjust. Waiting until he knows there's no way you can get the armor break.
Yeah, he took one more jump 1 of damage, but it was already scaled, so that's not really the damage that you have to be afraid of. So very good call there. Something I haven't seen people really do against Garrus, but you see it a lot against other characters.
Wake up 3. The turn stealer, eternally throwing Tweedy into the corner. And on the verge of being 2-0 up. Fantastic buffer from Tweedy, though. He's going to give him a full combo, and we cash out. That actually might be it. I think it will be. Because that's about 40%.
Close? Oh, not quite. Oh, over 40% actually. So even with that amount of damage, I guess.
Yo, the down 1 interrupted. That is how much of a gap exists. But that down 1 would have got chewed up by a natural barrier. That was just a read to make.
Yeah, that's the scary thing, is that when you make those reads, they can lead to so much on the other side. But Tweedy, looking a lot better that round. Yeah, it keeps trying to punish that, but the spacing from Mighty Unjust is pretty impeccable as far as the Hell's Raz so far. Whoa, that whiff? That was really weird looking. I thought that usually comboed. Maybe he jumped for the last hit? I don't know. That was really weird. I'm not even going to question it, but right now the mix-up is beginning again. And just being respectful, trying to bait the Wake Up 3, I think, since it worked out so well the first time.
All the Hell's Wrath to completely go over. The read on the air boulder. Tweedy has to play with fire a little bit now. Cetrion still has some game-changing crushing blows available. Mighty Unjust, break or not break. In this case, again, looking to challenge, but now the grab. Tweedy always has the call out, and now grab or button. Wow! Wake up button press is the play. He didn't commit.
Oh, no way! No way! That looked like he had already touched the ground for sure. It like OTG'd him. That was so wild looking. I swear he hit the ground already. I definitely want to see a replay of that one later on. But yeah, that was unbelievable actually, but great conversion by the Mighty Unjust. That's a pretty common, it's a common uncommon situation where you hit them with an airborne 1-1 and it juggles them, but you have to know that they're high enough that you can actually juggle into the fatal blow. Otherwise they just fall down and you can actually get punished. So you have to have a lot of really like recognition as to how high they are when that hits, and in one of those clutch moments it's very easy to mess that up. But Mighty Unjust knew that it was going to connect, and even apparently with the breaker it was still able to connect.
Cetrion right now looking like the pick, but if history's taught us anything, is that no matter what happens the first time they play in this bracket, when they inevitably get the run back, if that's something that happens this week, never expect a repeat. You can get 3-0s, but then it goes into game 5. Sometimes it's a sweep in the opposite direction. You never know. But right now, looking like the Cetrion has been the pick here for Mighty Unjust, which just gives him a lot of tools to fight Tweedy. That low profiling down 4, being able to bother the pushback as well. Like, a lot of pushback puts Cetrion in that position where you're kind of just outside of Gearus' buttons, it seems. So it almost kind of feels like you're hard-pressed to find a position where Unjust doesn't have an option over Tweedy.
Yeah, I think that's why we're starting to see like some more down forwards, for example, from Tweedy, which we just saw. Oh, okay, that's a good conversion. That's actually quite a bit of damage. But he's just trying to find an option from that correct range. And oh, that was a beautiful pickup, but that was a really unfortunate way to try and convert, as that is one of the most punishable on whiff moves in the entire game. And you can see how much he's taking for trying that. Look at that, 410 again? Same combo, right? Okay, just 400 this time. Not gonna matter, as one more pickup and Mighty Unjust is on match point fairly quickly.
Round 2, fight.
It has been the pick, at least for now. You kind of wonder what Tweedy's gonna do in turnaround. Back up into barrier. Ooh, here we go. Again, we start off, but one thing to point out is that Unjust, he's just never had to use defensive bar outside of breakers and wake up attacks. And he's getting hit, like clean hits, so little that he's never having to spend meter. So every time Tweedy knocks him down, Unjust has an option.
It's totally true. I mean, you know, in the second game, I said, oh, I haven't even seen bed of spikes yet, which is true. And that really says a lot, because it's not like that's a weird thing to see converted into. It's very, very common. And it's just so many weird little hits that are hitting Mighty Unjust, but nothing solid at all. He's just able to like score him out into weird little ways that you can't fully convert, or he's just making it so that only a little hits are going to hit. Tries for the armor breaker, that might have been it, but he's still going to get another pickup, and avoiding this chip is going to be nearly impossible. A surprisingly quick 3-0 from the Mighty Unjust.
Yeah, that's not something that we're used to seeing. And to be honest with you, Chef, when we looked at this matchup, I was like, okay, Tweedy, he's going to be comfortable here because he's played a bunch of Cetrion in the past. He knows the matchup. Gearus has never been said to do like horrendous against Cetrion, at least before Ultimate. Now, post-Ultimate, seeing as Cetrion is an entirely different beast, it is kind of hard to say whether, you know, that's the same thing, because Spring Cleaning definitely would have struggled against Gearus more. But wow, I mean, if you want to really see why Cetrion is seen as one of the absolute best characters out there right now, in my opinion, she's #1. Look no further. And Mighty Unjust putting those tools into perfect practice and having, I think, a tool for every occasion in the Gearus matchup.
Yeah, this is without a doubt one of the strongest characters in the entire game. First is not a weird thing at all, but it looks like we might see this conversion right here. Let's see. The airborne jab jab. He was on the ground. 100% he was on the ground.
It looked like it shouldn't have even hit.
It was 100% on the ground. I need somebody to take that, like clip it, and then screenshot the frame that it hits, and just show me that one particular frame, please. Like, message me on Twitter or something, because I need to see that. I don't think I've ever seen anything hit like that in this game before. Super weird, but I think regardless, it didn't make that huge of a difference, as it looked like Mighty Unjust was in pretty strong control the entire time, and that means he's moving on to fight his brother in the upper semifinals. Not a rare occurrence, as unfortunately when you and your brother are both really good at the game, you're just gonna have to meet up in bracket eventually. It's the classic, you know.
It is. And it's something that you get familiar with, and like I said, it results in really unusual matches sometimes. Apart from, ironically, El Kakoi and Mighty Unjust, I actually find have rather predictable matches. They don't have any special picks or whatever against each other. They go with their best and they change, but they kind of stick within their team of characters. Whereas, you know, we watch a K-Top versus H-Dope in pro competition, they're picking all kinds of unusual picks that you're never used to. But now, it opens our next matchup. So our next matchup is going to be Perfect Shinny versus Illuminati. Illuminati known as a Kung Lao player for a long time, but in Open Series, actually a player that we have not seen in some time. And Perfect Shinny, going to admit, a player I am not familiar with, but according to this survey, plays a team of Cetrion and Melina. So we'll be seeing. And actually, it looks like one of our younger players, only 17 years of age, you know? So always a shout out to the younger talent. Always.
Yeah, coming from, hey, Riverside, California. That's pretty close over here. So definitely going to get a little bit of cheering from me, repping SoCal. But Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty strong team, even if you take away Melina, right? A pretty strong team of characters. We just saw Cetrion coming out, although, hey, you know what? I was going to say there's probably not a high chance we're going to see Melina. We saw Melina in EU, so who knows what's going to happen. And then, yeah, like you were saying on the other side, Illuminati, one of the players who originally, I would say, was helping popularize Buzzsaw once Ultimate came out, and that variation, can I just say, I don't know if we're going to see it again, but that is still as strong as it has ever been. Super scary. I got to commentate the Intercontinental Combat Oceania region, and one of the players out there, Sagat, he was killing it with that. Almost won the tournament, one hit away from winning the entire thing. But I hope that we get to see more Buzzsaw. If not, though, Lau is still Lau. Lau is still as good as he ever was, if not better.
And according to those stats, what I find interesting, Illuminati, like I said, a player we haven't actually seen in some time, but a lot of us are familiar with if you follow the online tournament scene, you know, since MK11. 6-0. But they're the only matches that were tracked. So it kind of suggests that this was Illuminati's first appearance this year in Open Series and already making a splash by not losing a single game. So we'll see how this one goes. Yeah, we can see... Actually, we'll take a look. Is this going to be controls, hidden cursor? I think Kung Lao is the safe bet. Perfect Shinny will be going in with the Cetrion. Ooh, look at that skin. All right. Ooh. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
Is this... Wait a minute. This is... Okay.
Okay, that's Lotus Fist, I think, right?
I see an orbiting hat. I'm going to look at the other move. I can't remember what the icon of it is, but I'm sure we'll see.
Yeah, it's always tough. Okay.
Guided hat.
Guided hat. Interesting. And of course the usuals on the other side. I always check, you know, just in case one day we're going to see Citron with like the fire aura or something. I labbed a bunch of setups for it and I was hoping someday somebody'd use it, but this variation is just too good.
The thing is, Shep, I feel like there might be a point where we start to see slightly different variations, because there are some matchups where you don't see Cetrion's teleport used once.
Yeah,
now,
like the last one.
I don't know exactly. I don't know what her other one-bar moves are because I'm not a Cetrion player, so, you know, don't blame me up for that. But if there are any other one-slot moves, I kind of wonder if there's ever a reality where you would see them. But I could be completely talking about nothing because there might not be anything else.
I think there actually literally are no other one-slot moves, which is a really interesting thing about her customs.
Because she's got all the elements that are two. That's pretty significant.
All elements, and then the triple element, and then Geyser is 2, and then, yeah, there's just like a whole bunch of 2 ones. But anyway, looking at this, it's looking pretty even so far, and I do gotta say, I like both of these costumes. Super glowy, super evil looking, all about it. But right now, Cetron quarter pressure, we know how strong that can be.
Ooh. Oh, he looked for the armor break. He wanted the armor break so bad, Chef. I'm sure that was supposed to be the instant jump dive kick. But unfortunate business is going to lead to that first round. And to be fair, lovely conversion there from Shinny. And that'll be round 1 in the bag for the Cetrion.
Yeah, so far looking good in their first showing in the Open Series. Wow, that was a super low dive kick. I had to like wonder if that was punishable or not, but always punishable. I don't know why, it's just something that happens in my brain. Nice jump back. That's one of the greatest strengths of having such a fast dive kick, that you can always whiff punch anything on a jump back.
I like ending the combo in the 1-2-1. It kind of gives him the perfect range to get that meaty jump in. I was almost looking for a counter hit on that forward 2 string, but not quite. And the guided hat. The guided hat, I feel like, with the exception of like situational jump-in attempts, ooh, counter hit. I think guided hat may as well be called mid hat, because I think that's the only reason it gets used, is to become a mid. No, the drop! Oh no, Illuminati. Not going to be happy with that one. He'll be kicking himself. Doesn't quite get the forward 1 fatal blow. I'm sure that was an opportunity, Chef.
Yeah, that is extremely unfortunate, but hey, it happens, especially... Just always got to mention that the Kung Lao fatal blow is a little bit of a weird fatal blow overall. And hey, it happens. Life happens. The big question is, can you stay solid after losing in that way? Because we did see a player earlier today very possibly, you know, like lose a match, so somewhat like that, and then kind of start to fall apart and play a lot less strong. So, I mean, Illuminati's an experienced player, but we'll see. It's still, it doesn't matter how experienced you are. Losing a match in a way like that is gonna suck.
Yes, but also wasting no time picking straight up Lotus Fist. So it's Lotus Fist for this one. The Omega hat adding the kind of extra mix up and the damage, and we can't shy away from the damage. And Same Setron coming out as expected. For those that just don't know the rules, I actually do sometimes see occasional comments from people that I think are new to fighting games, and it is very common practice that basically the way it works is the winner is character locked, and the loser can change. You know, if you've lost the last match, you can change next time if you want, but if you win, you're always stuck with that character. And yes, mirror matches are allowed. I've even seen that asked sometimes. But you know what? Some people are new to streams. You know, some people are new to shows, and they just don't quite know how we roll over here. But they are some of the little tips and tricks and rules. But here we go, already starting things off aggressive.
Oh yeah, this is looking a whole lot better. Of course, this is where Lau always wants to have you, and that is in the corner. Oh, nice duck. Wow, just went for a down 4. It felt like an intentional duck, but then not an intentional punish. But managed to at least get out of the corner. That's where you can see where the teleport is so strong. Of course, even if you get out, even if you die, if you get out, it could be a whole lot worse. However, there's still a chance here.
I like how he's ending it with the barrier. Be a lot more plus than you would with regular tornado at the very least. And hang on a minute, we are now fatal blow away from a full life comeback. Oh, and the down 4 denies.
Yeah, that was a really good, super safe call right there. You know, nothing that Setron could have thrown out really would have confirmed into Fatal Blow from that range. It would probably have been like a 1-1 or a 2-1 or a 4-2-4, and so none of those would have been able to beat that down 4. I like the choice of safety there. Ooh.
Ground pound definitely becomes a more attractive option now the guided hat's gone. You can completely low profile it. Back to back down 4. Active frames, and that's a conversion. Easy. 18% just like that. The teleport slam, but it's more about creating a situation in this case. Chef, it is that 1-2-1.
Yep, into the classic combo that looks so cool. I still think one of the coolest combos in this game. And Illuminati just needs a few more hits here to try and tie things up. You can tell clearly that the loss...
Oh, that's standing 1, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe, but defensive bar gone, lands a hit, and that's going to be it. So like I was saying, clearly the way that he lost the first game did not affect him even a little bit. In fact, he looked stronger in the second one. Maybe you know, some players, when they kind of get mad, even if it's not necessarily mad at the opponent. It's like, oh, that I shouldn't have lost that way. Like, all right, you know, let's get serious, which is totally an attitude that I've seen before.
It's when you lean forward in your chair, you know?
Oh, yeah, the classic FGC. Like, I can't really do it on camera right here because I have a microphone in front of me. I'll just knock it over, but it's a classic thing. I think everybody out there knows what.
It's like when you're in a tournament and like you kind of take your wallet and your phone out of your pocket and you put it on the table in front of you because you can now sit a bit more comfortably and your hands can rest a bit more, you know. It's sounds really weird for those that haven't been to a tournament, but it's definitely a thing where you're like, nah, I'm uncomfortable. Wait a minute, let's readjust and become, you know, completely funneled in and ready. But
now it's just making me sad because it's been so long. I want that to happen again. Oh, but
one day we'll be back. One day we'll be back.
You know, we're here with some really nice tournaments anyway, so I'm super happy that we have this, and it's not been a disappointing set so far. But wow, starting off strong with the down 2 crushing blow.
The Lotus Fist is just giving Illuminati so much more confidence. It looks like the damage, the oppressive nature. Only got enough meter for one of the hats so far, but he's about to build 2. Oh, he was looking for it right there. Looking for a counter hit, it seemed like. Ooh. More damage coming out from Shinny. Oh, that's a punish!
We have seen him land that crushing. Oh, no! Is that it? I think that's it. That's
gonna do a lot.
Late. I'm pretty confident this is enough. Oh, no,
1%.
just short. Just short. Oh,
But
no.
he meets with 2-1. That was such an interesting idea, and he gets the dive kick anyway into forward 1. Ooh, that was a perfect call out on the breakaway. Perfect. I think we were almost looking for dive kick.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And honestly, the dive kick movement afterwards, too, was a really smart idea in between the earthquake hits. Illuminati, yeah, looking so much more confident after that switch. And it's funny because honestly, I feel like he hasn't really used the move difference all that much. In fact, the guided hat was kind of working out for him, but he just feels more confident.
Oh, I like that. Oh, but the immediate bait, Shinny. How about on the spot adaptation there? Oh, the whip. I love that conversion.
I know. Kung Lao combos are so sick. I wish we had more Kung Lao players.
Which is weird because there used to be so many.
I know. I don't know what happened. He's still good. All right. Needs to keep the zoning going. Has fatal blow, so really any conversion should be it here. But can you find it without getting hit? And didn't even low profile the straight hat. This is why I think maybe guided hat was switched out, is, hey, sometimes you can hit him even without it. And yeah, this momentum, you can tell, is totally shifted into Illuminati's favor.
It has, absolutely. And I know we've seen the secondary character set as Melina, and we can obviously get that information from player cards a lot of the time, how we have the Melina foreground and Cetrion background down there for Shinny. But I just think that when we look at Kung Lao and this nature of Kung Lao, Cetrion is probably going to be the pick we see. It'd be nice to see Melina, because, I mean, we saw a little bit of Melina earlier today, but I think seeing as this is tournament, the chips are down. Here we go. All right. Now,
I'm
what's
sorry.
the variation? Melina, both regions we've seen Melina today. That's rare.
That's like never happened since Melina came out. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe she's getting more popular again, but Vanish?
Vanish.
Oh.
And rocking maskless Melina as well. You know, quite the grinder, I'm sure. Here we go. Ooh,
Okay.
Let's see if
I'm
it does
excited.
anything. Let's see if it works.
I hope it works at least once, right? Let's see. So far, though, it's looking a lot like the previous games, where it doesn't matter which character you're using. If you're getting pressured by Kung Lao the entire time, then you don't get to see anything.
I'm curious to see if we get to see the Vanish. It's not something I'm familiar with Melina players using all that much. Ooh, trip guard. There's the delay, though. And the ball roll anti-air.
Oh, the Vanish setup! Yes, this is so sick. Oh, no!
Oh, the dive kick beat the roll! If that was MKX, that would not have happened, I promise you.
I know, that would have been the perfect anti-air. Oh, what a read, though. You're like, oh yeah, you're going invisible, I'm just gonna jump back dive kick. But I love that setup regardless, and I want to see it happen again. However, it is match point now for Illuminati.
I'd love to see us go to a game 5 because I want to see more Melina. I'm completely honest.
Agreed.
Big jump in. Oh, the immediate grab, though. The jump kick happened quite high up there. The wake up button, but that's no mid. The back to back. And the down 4. Jump back dive kick. Illuminati just controlling that space.
Oh, there's so many of these stray little hits, but so many of them are just not able to convert, which is understandable. And that's an issue that you have to deal with fighting Kung Lao a lot, is that he's going to be jumping around a lot. You're going to get weird, little, tiny hits. But hey, is that enough?
So good.
Yeah.
Oh no! Just gets opened up with the 1-2. Lovely conversion too.
Fatal
The
blow
short
available.
hop. Cheeky business. Fatal blows in play. Staggers on its own. Oh, the delayed grab. We need a little bit more, but that has put us into fatal blow territory. Will Shinny find an opportunity to do something?
Just fatal through. Just do it. No fear. Oh, okay. That's actually a great option. Way better than what I was saying. Mine was more
no.
Combat League status. Oh no, just one more hit. How are you gonna avoid this? Oh, not chipped yet. No defensive bar. You got nothing. Oh, I appreciate the attempt.
Yeah, I respect it. If that ball roll hit, there was meter for Amp and a fatal blow with his name on it, but unfortunately not quite able to pull it through. But a valiant attempt from the Melina, to be honest with you. That first round was a bit of a struggle, but we just stabilized. Good use of the projectile, but only one game to make things work when Cetrion already wasn't going to cut it. It was always going to be a bit of a tricky exchange, but give Illuminati the props. A Kung Lao main since day one. We've been seeing this Lotus Fist for so long and continuing to see it thrive, as now Illuminati moves on. Next round of winners. Now, we could still see Shinny in the rest of the tournament. They'll just have to make their way through losers bracket to get there, which is looking pretty populated so far, as we have one matchup left to go, which, if I recall, is Ryu or Pain FZ, because S-Ryu tends to be a clan that we see at some other players. So Pain FZ versus Biohazard. Bio, who was an animal last week. Check out that. Boom.
That is undoubtedly going to be one of the toughest matchups that you're going to get. Bio just... He looked unstoppable, frankly. I mean, he defeated everybody in his path. He was just looking like there was just no answer to Kano of all characters, too. I mean, it's so weird because we really look at this match, or we look at, sorry, I guess we should say we look at Biohazard, and we say like, oh yeah, like he's dominating with Kano, but you feel like, oh yeah, it's just Biohazard, that's what he does, but like, it's with Kano, you know? Like, this is there's nobody else in the entire world doing what he's doing, and it's always fun to watch, but S-Ryu Pain, all right, yeah, I'm just gonna call him Pain FC. I think that's technically his tag. I feel like we haven't seen him for a while, or at least not much for a while.
We haven't in some time, and if I recall, we've seen, I think, if memory serves, we've seen Johnny Cage, we've seen Kung Lao. We've seen quite a few characters, actually, and as we can see here, Kung Lao probably listed as the main, I imagine, so that's going to be a potential, another appearance of Kung Lao, but maybe a different variation. And we got to see off-stream, Tweedy was able to defeat Breaking 3-1 in loser's bracket, so Breaking, unfortunately, is already eliminated, but again, at this level of play, it's going to be hard, because you had to go through El Kakoi first, and then you've got Tweedy first round of losers, I mean, come on. But Bio, the Kano, which we saw so much of. Now, here's what I'm wondering. Biohazard is always experimenting with, like, new picks, new characters, new choices. He knows that he's able to win a tournament with Snakebite on its own, with a bracket that is as insanely populated as his last victory. So is this a week where we don't see that from Kano? Do we now see different variations? I know he's been messing around with the pull again. Is he going to play a new character he's been working on? Like, this might be a week where he got his win last week and now he's going to start experimenting again, because he's been known to do that before.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a player who, I don't want to say gets bored, but I understand the sentiment of like, okay, yeah, like clearly this is working, but like, let's try something else, you know, let's just try it. I mean, we've seen his incredible Nightwolf variation that I think I've literally never seen anybody else try. We've seen a very unique collector coming out of him. And honestly, I mean, it's so hard to say that I want to see him switch because, first of all, like, it's still so sick to watch Kano dominate. But
oh yeah,
it's just always going to be fun to watch anything he brings. So whatever it's going to be fun. I think I want him to just go Kano again the whole way. I want to see if he can repeat.
I'd love to see it too, because the Kano is always becoming a bit of a fan favorite, because it just goes to show that you can still be a specialist in this game and succeed. A lot of people would always be tempted as competitive players, sometimes professional players, to gravitate towards just the tier list only, top of the tier list or bust. And to be fair, if you are a competitive player, going in with what the community sees as the best characters in the game is not a bad approach. In fact, that can sometimes be an approach that's encouraged. But the art of sticking with a character and just figuring out as much as you can with that one pick, in a game like this where you've got different variations, different moves, the fact that you can now, this level of experimentation, I think, is much better now you have Ultimate. You know, because Kano has a lot of variety. Kano's got a bunch of moves. So it really lets him relish that. And Pain, I actually haven't seen him use Joker before, so it must be a recent pick. And I think I might have seen the bio pool there, Chef.
Ooh, yeah. So, I mean, you were saying you can win really consistently. Well, you can win a lot more consistently as a character specialist, and we are going to see the bio pull along with the command grab and the extended strings. On the other side, we're going to see Kapow and Jumping Jester. Nothing super weird. That's what we see pretty often from the Mighty Unjust in these tournaments. But yeah, one of the big reasons why you can do so well now is that you can have multiple variations, all for different reasons, and Biopole is one of the biggest examples of that. Oh, actually, did you see the conversion on Twitter?
Yes, I did. That's why I'm thinking about it.
I know. Well, I'm not going to say anything about it. We'll see if we see anything.
He can punish Kapow with it! Oh, God, he can punish Kapow. That's disgusting. Oh, that's disgusting. Kano, you make me sick.
Kano makes me sick in other ways, but that is just sick in general. All right, lands a big hit. That's a good start for SRU. Pain. Just Pain. Gonna call him Pain. I'll get there. Oh, no, went for the tick grab, but it was ducked, I guess.
Down one. Wow, back to back, and he squeezes that command grab through. Now, this is what we're looking at. That bio pull. Curious to see what he gets from this now. Whiff punish. Oh, Biohazard playing clean. Here comes the Kano, wants more Pain. How ready will he be for this, though, Chef? That's what I wonder.
I don't know. I mean, it's so hard always to get experience against Kanos, but all right, another big combo. Of course, going to be some of the biggest combos you can get.
I think that was a fumbled flawless block, actually, on Wake Up, it looked like.
We do see a lot of attempted flawless blocks, so I'm surprised we don't see more fumbled flawless blocks. It shows how good he is.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay. Great way to bring it back.
Yeah, Yeah, pretty dominant, surprisingly, after that first one. There we go. The pulling back in the knife, doing that weird extra block stun. I don't even know fully the way that mechanic 100% works, but that's definitely part of that cool conversion that we were talking about earlier. We'll see if we see anything close to that. Nice! That was a beautiful air cannonball to thread that needle.
Now, rather even split on the health so far as we go back to this mid-screen. Oh, again, Jumping Jester has been absolutely annoying Biohazard to no end. Whiff punish, though.
I love the raw bio pull whiff punishes. So perfect.
Uh-oh. The second the downfalls come out. Lovely grab. Really good grab from Pain. Is that going to put him? No, 1% short. Maybe 2. There we go. Now we've got Fatal Blow.
Yeah, that chip is actually pretty helpful because it means any conversion here is it. Oh, and Joker can duck the second hit. I didn't even know that, but that should be it. Down 2. And Pain taking the first game over Bio. That's pretty surprising.
Off an absolute stomp of a round 1, it was awesome that he was able to turn things around so quickly. And it was the use of the Jumping Jester. I think he was using the Jumping Jester a lot more often than I think a lot of Jokers do. And I think part of that was catching Bio, because it was hitting him on its own, and then the confirm was coming through. And that's not something you're used to seeing Joker players use anymore. I think we used to see it all the time when it was Ace of Knaves, or it was Jack in the Box, Jumping Jester, and stuff's flying around all over the place, but not so much these days. But in that case, it was all over the place.
Yeah, and honestly, when we do see it, a lot of times it's used for the fact that it hits on the way up, rather than actually setting it up and then letting it fall on people, which is, I guess, its primary function, ideally.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be used as a launcher, too, for if you... It went back when you used that variation, it was the only way to launch. But, yeah, really good usage of it. And then taking advantage of all of those little hits to get rid of his defensive bar and then cash out on the big combos. Those big down 2 kapow combos. Ooh, so much damage.
Oh, yeah. For sure. You can get those double down 2s where it's like it's hard to break and challenge, and it's chunking health down. But as we now go into the Deadpool's next match, Bio, what is the play going to be here? I think he's going to be a lot more wary of that. You can already tell that he's actually, at the end of the last game, that forward 1 was instantly challenged. So I'm curious to see what he does from that. Lovely launch, breakaway. Uh-oh, the low though, watch out.
All right, big conversion, and then mix-up begins. Making that overhead so much scarier, those I guess, extended strings. Oh, that was weird looking. It like restood him because he was only partway into that animation. Funny looking.
Round 2, fight.
Oh, poor guy, he was just trying to hang out.
He was, oh, great. Oh, we were definitely all expecting that final hit. Often Joker players do like to fish for the crushing blow if that second hit connects on its own.
Oh, he tried to get the punish still, just maybe a little bit too far that time.
But that just makes you so scared to press buttons, and he's looking for the unbreakable there. Was that back 1? Now Pain pushing forward here, looking for a short hop. Oh, whiffs the grab, another full confirm. Now the bio pull, it definitely does less damage than Snake Bite, but it just serves different utility, that's all.
Plus, I mean, it has bio in the name, so I don't know how you could ever not use it as biohazard. It just feels like a rule.
Exactly. Oh, he was looking for the counter hit KB, but even on block, sets up a delicious bait into that flawless block up too. I was almost expecting him to do it again. Up 3 whiffs. He's done. Surely. Fatal Blow's ready.
Oh, no! I can't believe that didn't hit. I really, truly felt like that hit. Yeah, I don't know. The hit. I mean, the hitbox on it is not that tiny, right? Sorry, I'm a little like weirded out by that. It felt like that hit to me, but hey, that's life. That should have been it. That's really unfortunate. That's a tough way to win, or sorry, tough way to lose.
You know what makes me sad about Kano though is that ender where he stomps on your back and stuff like that. There is an amazing brutality, like a throwback to MK3, where he pulls your entire skeleton out through your back. But it is if I recall, it is a mercy-only brutality. So Bio would need to mercy you and then end you with it. So it's not really something I think we're going to really see, because it's not his style to do that. But it's one of the funniest brutalities you can have. And now, okay, we're going into the Kung Lao this time. Now, I didn't quite catch the variation, but I know that Pain FC plays so many different characters and variations that I can expect anything with Kung Lao. It's hard to predict.
Yeah, and of course Kung Lao, one of the most flexible characters, really, when it comes to variations. We are going to see the Buzzsaw Possessed hat. So I was talking about Buzzsaw earlier, and then I got it from a different player, apparently. But it's a very strong variation that actually has done very well against Biohazard in the past. And we actually talked about how Biopole might be one of the best answers for it, potentially, but I've never seen it. Oh, I'm going to say yes!
Well, you can't use it on its own, I suppose. That Biopole is always going to be a threat. But on block, that's where it becomes a different beast. Bio with patience. The grab's going to whiff and give him another full combo. Now Pain. Back to the corner. 50% health already gone. Oh, and we're starting to tick. You know Bio's going to go in. He's not going to give you an opportunity. Watch your head, mate.
Oh, this is a very Biohazard round right now. Oh, just unnecessary. I've talked about that a lot, but he loves doing that. He'll back up and then forward 4, and it automatically makes so many things with. Plus, it makes you think he's not going to go for a mix-up. All of it is, it's a very classic Biohazard move.
Looking for the knockdown. Ooh, not quite getting the ender, though. And again, Bio's trying to interrupt that Kano ball. Oh, he's looking to just get plus frames. Well, that kick, I believe, is plus on block. I'm sure Mustard has told me that before.
It is. Oh!
That just nullifies it. It just completely nullified it.
He took the damage and it just blocked. Very cool counter to Buzzsaw. I was really hoping that was going to work out exactly like that. Oh, gets hit by the raw teleport.
Yeah, there's that down 1 just to steal it away. And a whiff punish. Oh! That could have been it. Or at least an opportunity. Yeah, he has to hold it. Now, I actually think that's going to scale. I don't think he's dead.
It's close.
It's always hard to say with Kung Lao, but I think he'll survive. I think so.
Oh, you're right. You were 100% right.
It scales a lot.
Oh, he keeps trying to duck the second hit of forward 1-2 because he was playing Joker.
Oh, no! No, Kano, don't do it. Don't do it. He's right there. That's disrespectful.
Oh,
not on the traffic cone. Someone's got to pick that up later and they won't know that you've done it. No, he's peeing on the wrench. Someone's definitely going to have to pick that up. He's peeing all over it, dude.
So, okay, see, this is the one biggest downside to Biohazard doing so well in the open series, is that we have to watch that post-brutality scene like every week multiple times. But you know what? It's not the worst we've seen by a long shot. There's definitely been a few other times very recently that have been much worse. So I'll let him pee on the wrenches. Go for it. Whoa. Okay.
Whoa. Hang on a minute.
Oh, that's a good one. When they both go at each other.
Right, this is manhandled chemical. This is the conventional. This is like what is often seen as the most popular Kano variation: the chemical burn, lumbar check, and manhandled. I've never seen someone try and mirror Bio's Kano before, so this is confidence. This is confidence.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, if he pulls it off, it's making a big statement. Great start so far. Of course, Pain is the one using the Pirate Kano. Great skin.
All right. Oh. There's the headbutt. Oh, wow. Using it from that distance, actually. Grabs him into the flames. Big damage off a grab there, but there's the confirm, the Bio pull.
Yeah, Bio actually took so much damage so quickly. He's going to need to land a few more mix-ups to even this up. Not really the highest damage character, except for a down 2 KB.
God. The pain. The pain.
The pain from Pain. All right, full string. Pulls him up. Nice.
Oh. Oh. Cannonball. Here we go. And Biohazard now on match point here against Pain FZ, trying to drop the mirror. Counter hit. All right, that's an opportunity.
All right, yeah, I like the fact that he's going to zoning, realizing that they have obviously the exact same zoning tools, so you can kind of win that game if you have life sleep. Oh, big punish.
Now, it's definitely not setup distance to create that. I was about to say to create that crazy chemical burn sequence, but Biohazard Kano balls himself right into it anyway.
I think, cool pickup, cool pickup. It's not a lot of damage, but it's better than nothing for sure.
Hang on. Right, good block on the overhead. And I think Bio was going for maybe a neutral duck there. He just got hit clean. I don't think he was even trying to press a button. Now, the match point still continues, but back to the mid-screen we go.
Yeah. Oh, great pickup. Pain, honestly, is looking quite good with the Kano.
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt that it's well practiced. he wouldn't be trying to mirror the best Kano out there if he wasn't confident in the pick. But as we now end, command grab for good damage. And now, I was half expecting that to be a tick. Oh, speaking of, oh, he's calling it out. You want to neutral duck this so bad. He tries to stand up, but he gets clipped. Not this time. Oh, challenges the plus frames. He knows that's plus, but he challenges it anyway.
Yeah, he's challenged it before, too, and it so far hasn't worked out. This pressure.
Oh, dear. Wait a minute, he can
enough?
have this. I think it's going to be enough. He's going to amplify it.
Oh, ripped in half. And okay, we're just gonna see him drink the beer. I like that. It's a lot safer. But
there's not as much stuff for him to urinate on anyway, so I don't think it would be as bad. But you know what? He's going to get the matchup. The mirror match goes to Bio and Pain. I mean, give the props for trying all the different characters, and the Kano looked well practiced. It's just that you know, when the chips are down, you have to make a reverse sweep. Pressure's on. It's going to be hard to make any kind of comeback, at least let alone against last week's champion. And that will be Bio moving forward with this new variation. He's always trying new tricks with Kano. It feels like every week you see him use a new variation, and it goes to show why he's such a master of the character, because he just makes everything work in some capacity. But Pain trying all the different characters. Joker definitely gave him the best results, because I mean, it gave him a win. He actually got a match win with the Joker. So maybe some reflection going to be used here.
yeah, I mean, regardless, you know, he didn't look totally like lost in any of the matchups, including the mirror, which is really saying a lot. So I do expect that there's a good chance that we will be seeing Pain later in the lower bracket. But yeah, Bio is just Bio, and honestly, I think that if he just goes with that variation, the Biopool variation, and then the well, why am I blanking on what's called Snake Bite variation? If he just goes with those two, I feel like he can handle anything with just those two, which is really scary to think about.
Now, look at our next matchups. El Kakoi versus Mighty Unjust, and then Illuminati versus Biohazard. In the winner's bracket, Tweedy currently lying in wait as he was able to defeat Breaking 3-1. And then our first round of losers off stream is going to be Pain FC going up against Perfect Shinny. So that could actually go either way. You know, I'll be curious to see who gets the win there. But yeah, we're moving on in winners, and it's going to be the Battle of the Brothers. And then Illuminati against Biohazard will be the matchup afterwards to find out who's going to be winners finals. Now, before we go to a break, I'd like to once again remind everyone that you can compete in these cups. Go to compete.playstation.com. It's the one and only place you need to go to play Mortal Kombat 11 and other fighting games competitively. The bottom of the screen right down there. Alternatively, on YouTube and Twitch, you can scroll down and click a little icon. It will take you right to the competition center. And this whole system, it's done through the console. You know, it sets your matches up for you. It tells you when you got to play. You click it, boom, you're in, you play, and if you do well enough, you appear on stream on the Tuesday, or maybe for the all-important monthly finals. We are going to take a quick break, and then when we return, we'll find out who our winners finalists will be. See you in a few minutes' time.
No jokes, no gimmicks, just combat.
PlayStation.
This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown, Sindel. The Edenian Queen is back and more fearsome than ever. Her variations are strong, but her most important attacks are actually what she has by default, and not variation specific. She boasts incredible range. Her Scream is arguably her most powerful tool due to the crushing blow attached. This is something your opponents will have to play around, as once they get hit by it, they will take severe damage, especially if she has her fatal blow ready. Her towards back kick is a key attack that can cause a lot of headaches for her opponent. This cartwheel leads to a string that is completely safe and resets you back to mid-screen distance, allowing her to play an effective hit-and-run style. In addition, her towards back punch leads to a long-reaching overhead string, and her away back punch is a low attack that launches the opponent in the air. This mix-up keeps opponents on their toes, which can be easier said than done when combined with her other distance options. With range on her side, Sindel can absolutely be a force to be reckoned with. low damage at first glance, but can explode life bars with the right resources loaded.
PlayStation.
This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown, Geras. Making his debut in Mortal Kombat 11, Geras is a big body character with fearsome attacks and abilities. Geras hits hard and has formidable strategies built around large combos or command grabs. His playstyle dramatically changes based upon which variation is chosen, more than most characters. New Era uses the universal Titan Tackle in a unique way. Stepping it back grants him tricky cancels, and Spike grants more ranged options. New Era lets you really get into your opponent's head when you're on the offense. Infinite Warden grants heavy-hitting combos with bed of spikes. You'll lose the Titan Tackle, so you'll rely heavier on your basic throws. In addition, you get an alternate version of Sand Trap which deals more damage than usual, and also moves Geras next to the opponent afterwards. Eternal focuses on a dry, runaway style using the Sand Simulacrum, which is different to the usual aggression you'll see from the other two variations. Eternal is more geared towards movement, as you can be a serious pest with the right decisions. Geras has many impressive attacks, but his variations add a ton to his toolkit. Play safe and sensible, and you will find yourself making some serious progress.
PlayStation.
This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown, Sub-Zero. Another staple to the MK franchise, Sub-Zero keeps many of the moves that we all remember. The full combo Ice Ball and Slide are integral parts of his game plan across every variation. Dead of Winter can amplify Ice Ball for a faster startup, providing increased combo potential of certain moves. Additionally, it goes through projectiles. The Cold Shoulder replaces Slide, but does excellent damage. If you want mix-ups and combos combined, Dead of Winter is the choice for you. Thin Ice trades larger combos for projectiles, of which we have plenty. These projectiles can all be used together to greatly increase Sub-Zero's neutral game. Finally, Avalanche is the setup variation, thanks to one special, the Arctic Trap. This creates an obstacle on screen that will freeze the opponent when touched. Opponents can often find themselves stuck in certain positions that they'd very much rather avoid. Sub-Zero is a rare character in MK11 that has both an overhead and low hitting attack that can truly enforce an overhead or low mix-up. Add good variations on top, and Sub-Zero becomes a lethal choice for mix-up heavy players.
PlayStation.
This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown, the Joker. The Clown Prince of Gotham sports range on his normal attacks, meterless combo potential, and big damage across the board. Combine his lethal base moveset with 3 different variations that expand on this massively, and you're left with a character that has a tool for every occasion. The Clown Prince variation brings range and keep away thanks to a low projectile. Amplify this for high damage, and additionally providing unbreakable damage to really save your skin. Ace of Knaves is tricky and uses Jumping Jester and Jack-in-the-Box. These tools provide scary knockdown pressure and trap the opponent into unfavorable positions. Finally, Madman is damage and safety through and through. Great for newcomers and not very complicated, also boasting the most streamlined combo game around the launching properties of Kapow, which Madman has instead of the Bird Boy beatdown special. Universally, his fatal blow can be cancelled out of, and even has a throw-crushing blow tied to its cooldown. This alone gives the Joker the most dangerous fatal blow in all of MK11, often a game changer. Fans of the Joker will feel right at home, terrorizing the competition.
プレイステーション
Welcome back, everybody, to the PS4 Tournament's MK11 Open Series Invitational, where we've got through our first round of winners, and now we're going to find out who's in winners' finals. We have the Battle of the Brothers first, and then we have Illuminati versus Biohazard. So we'll check out the bracket and find out those matches on top of what's happening off stream, as we're now going into losers bracket as well. That first round is in full swing, as Tweedy has already moved on, and now we're waiting for the results of Pain FC versus Perfect Shinny. But like I said, El Kakoi and Mighty Unjust, and then Illuminati and Biohazard. Chef, of these two, what one do you think you're eyeing up a little bit more?
I would definitely have to say Illuminati versus Biohazard, just because it's a little bit of a question mark as to what's going to happen. I mean, full honesty, as of right now, El Kakoi versus the Mighty Unjust is something like 100-0 in the Mighty Unjust favor. Probably not that many games, but it is, I think, 100% in the Mighty Unjust favor. So maybe today will be the day that I'm really excited, because we get to see El Kakoi pull out something cool and new and have a great answer for his brother, but history has said that may not be what happens. But they do tend to use some maybe a little bit more interesting character matchups. We'll see. We'll see.
It depends, because Mighty Unjust has historically used Jackie a lot to beat El Kakoi, because he knows his brother better than anyone, and he knows El Kakoi hates fighting Jackie. Before Ultimate, post-Ultimate, doesn't matter. So Unjust has been known to pick that character, which, you know, if you're brothers, I think that gets even... I think it kind of almost like goes even further into the kind of like the brother BM, right? Like if you just, I know you can't beat this character, so love you, bro, but I'm gonna pick it until you beat me. Good luck.
Yeah, you don't play to win against your siblings. You play to piss them off. Quite frankly, that's how you win. You know, it's a moral victory, and that's a competition I think since birth. So right now, I think overall, Mighty Unjust has probably made his brother angrier. But I want to know when we're going to see El Kakoi finally find a character that is just like his and his alone, you know? I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that like nobody else can play the character, but he just switches around really often. I never really feel like I'm seeing his main, if that makes sense.
But speaking of which, Liu Kang definitely is slowly becoming one of those. And again, El Kakoi going in with the Cetrion. For all we know, we could actually have a Cetrion mirror here. In fact, I think we have seen a Cetrion mirror between the two brothers before. But the Liu Kang is going to be able to fight most of these characters, and Mighty Unjust has been able to show time after time that the Liu Kang is a really good pick for him anyway. Nothing really out of the ordinary. The stance, the slam, it is a mix-up. He has, I think the variation's even called guess right. Like he's focused around being point blank and having guess-based offense, which helps against Cetrion, I think.
Yeah, and of course the same say hi to Owen variation that we've seen literally every single time that we see Cetrion out of El Kakoi, I believe. But hey, all right, this is a really good start. Catching him out of the flying kick, and oh no, momentum reverse and armor breaker. Yikes. Punish. The good guess on the nunchuck stance. Oh, jabs right through. Of course, that is something that you can do no matter what. If they amplify it or not, if your spacing is correct, jab is going to punish all the options.
Now, that's one thing we're seeing a lot more Cetrions do these days, is when they use the regular wind, it's not really that plus. I think it's like barely plus, but it's not enough that she can enforce. Wow, Mighty Unjust, definite overcommitment there, and he'll get punished accordingly. El Kakoi taking that first round, but swinging a bit too hard, I think, right? A bit too eager, perhaps, to close out the round.
Well, that just might be one of those brother things, because you very rarely see Mighty Unjust go for certain things like that, but, well, you know, if they've played a million times, maybe he's just like, yeah, I know you're going to poke right here, and then he didn't. Ooh, Footsie's ranged fireball. I like that a lot. It is a really fast-starting fireball. Slow walk down. And this is where it starts to get really scary for El Kakoi. He's got a pretty big life deficit, plus now he's in the corner.
Oh, there's the range. That's what he's looking for. And we don't need to go for the crushing blow yet. Now, I mean, yeah, we hit that counter hit situation. Unjust knows that I really do want to save it for a rainy day. Getting one extra hit in that situation was not going to be super hard. But now a round apiece. Oh, but now we can spend it. There's no breakaway.
Yeah, I love when you immediately see the payoff from a good decision, right? That was a lot of damage with the drill, but the drill does knock you pretty far away. However, the zoning is not going to be all that scary against Liu Kang, who can really check back with his own fireballs, and with that much of a life deficit, you're not going to be able to get it back through zoning alone.
Oh, I think that was supposed to be a short hop air fireball attempt. That was definitely a reaction at that range. He saw the start up of the boulder and flying kick before it came out. That's a punish. Oh! Not really anything he could do about that, to be honest with you. That's what the Katari Slam does. Especially off things like 1, 2, 3. Now, game 1. That goes to the Liu Kang. I will never get tired of looking at Mighty Unjust's Liu Kang. I really think that he's got one of the crispest Liu Kangs out there, but he just doesn't use it all that often.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of got the curse of he's too good with too many good characters, right? Like, he's a player who could absolutely 100% main Liu Kang and nobody else, but almost it's like, why would you do that? Because you also have an amazing Cetron, you also have an amazing Joker, you have an amazing Noob Saibot. Noob Saibot's the one that I really want to see more of, because I always thought that was maybe his overall best character. Of course, we just don't see that many matchups where it's that useful anymore. But big bummer.
We froze up for a second there. I was like,
oh,
what are we doing? We're back. We're good. Never mind. False alarm. No one disconnected. We're good to jump right back in. And we will be jumping right back in. The exact same matchup coming out. Ooh, the retrocade. I never get tired of this stage. It's the best stage I've ever done.
Me neither. Can we just run every tournament match on the stage, please? Can we change the rules? I would be
I wish
all
we
for
could.
that.
I wish we could.
It wouldn't even get boring because it's constantly switching stages, right? Like, it's not like it would be one stage all the time.
Yeah, we got
I'm
a
all
Primal
for it.
Rage machine in the background, Joust, you know, on the right-hand side.
All the cutouts. Love it.
I finally learned how to use an American Change machine while I was in Los Angeles last year, at the beginning of last year, I think it's probably fair to say. I just never knew how it worked before, it just looked really weird. Big bulky thing, like, what do I do? But now we're good.
All right. Well, as we stand right now, Mighty Unjust is taking a good amount of damage, trying to move in. That was a nice teleport, going to build a lot more space, but here we go. No breakaway this time. Actually, didn't even have the defensive bar, but hopefully he's learning not to break away in this situation. Oh, great armor breaker. Scaling the damage, or unscaling the damage.
Ooh, the breakaway. That does come through now. Okakoi's going to have to hold this. Guess right is correct, but the interruption works, and that will be the round for sure.
Right, yeah, and smart choice there not to spend the fatal blow. Again, it's pretty obvious in hindsight, but when you're in that situation, sometimes it's just easier to just hit the shoulder buttons rather than try to actually go for the special. Oh, big punish. 2 and 3 was already used, so it's going for the best. A weird breakaway.
Interruption in between the barrier. That's something you don't see a lot of players do, but yeah, I mean, in between the barrier and the amp, there are some characters that can squeeze in full jabs. Depends on the speed of their jabs, of course, but really important tool. There's the reversal punish again, back in the corner. Ooh, we're starting to see the nunchuck stance come out, but a big punish.
And it's gonna take just a little bit of damage. You can't really side switch anymore. Back when Geyser was a thing, of course, that was easy side switch no matter which combo you did. Oh, that's unsafe. That's so unsafe. Why would you do that? That must have been a mistake. 1-1-2 is so much safer, unless there was something he was really fishing for. And that's going to be the round. And just to add insult to injury, that's one step closer to the bicycle kick. Crushing blow. I've seen multiple Cetrons do 1-1-4 as just like a pressure string before, and it's super unsafe, really easy to punish, so I'm not really sure why. Clearly it's like to punish some sort of flawless block gap with 1-1-2 or something, but it just seems like it's punished a lot to me. Ow, there we go, charge from last round.
The neutral jump doesn't let anything rock. Oh, that looked a little bit like a micro duck attempt for me. Looking to interrupt, the low profiling down 4. Not a lot of damage coming out from El Kakoi, and now he's in big trouble. Is this going to be a 2-0? Ooh, Oh, that projectile certainly doesn't help matters.
Oh no, not a good trade. You have to, you have to make the teleport there. He had the punish. He could have at least gotten a combo into Fatal Blow right there. And he still has a chance. Oh, now anything in the Fatal Blow is going to be it. But Chip is looking very, very likely. Oh, escapes it, but the flying kick. No defensive bar at all. And yeah, it will be moving to 2-0. That was close, actually. It was closer than it looked like it was going to be, just because he did land a few hits, but just wasn't able to pull anything off.
Now, 2-0. Do we see the character change here from El Kakoi? Is it going to be Cetrion all the way?
I was going to ask the same thing. I don't know. I think we're going to see a switch, personally. But you never know. You know, I was saying at the start of the broadcast today, at the start of this North American broadcast, that it's always just a big question mark. What variations and what characters are everybody going to use? And it is just literally never set in stone, except for Tweety. I'm still always going to say that. Tweety, if we see Tweety switch, I would be extremely surprised. Oh. Nope, going back to Cetrion.
The thing about this matchup, though, Chef, is that you're in for the long haul, because anytime you can change character here, you know Mighty Unjust better than anyone, and you know that he's going to change. If you play a character that has any potential tricky matchups and Unjust knows how to play that character, you may win this game against the Liu Kang, but you know you're in for a trickier time afterwards. So I think he must just deem that against any character Unjust could pick, Cetrion gives him the best chance across all of them. Because look, she's probably the best character in the game right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to argue that. Ow, big crushing blow. Honestly, I just, again, you know, it seems like it would be really beneficial to have El Kakui finally find a character that just feels like his main 100%. And it may be that Cetrion is ending up being that, but still he just constantly is playing other characters, so it's hard to say. And I mean, you know, he's not doing badly here, and it is the Mighty Unjust. It's not like, you know, he's getting destroyed by somebody we've never heard of, but just doesn't feel like he's as comfortable with any character as Mighty Unjust is with Liu Kang.
Lovely whip punish, though. Gets a teleport in at just the right time. Cheeky little teleport. And he will survive this grab with about 3% to spare. Oh, yo, active frames of the barrier. Creating an interesting situation, but now the first round of this game going to El Kakoi, but that has happened in the past. Mighty Unjust has been able to turn it around. Oh, another counter hit. Lovely duck.
Great duck. Yeah, into the full punish. Oh, just went with standing 4. That may have been an input error. It doesn't really give you anything to reset in that situation, just because you're already going to be plus. And there we go. That's big. And the armor break. Of course, the armor break doesn't do a whole lot of damage for Cetrion, but you do still get that extra damage for breaking the armor. Oh, good read. Just the slow walk down pressure is just working so extremely well. Just constantly El Kakui is finding himself cornered, just not even getting any time to. Oh my god, he held it for so long. That was super disrespectful.
Oh, but the fatal blow. He wins. We cash out. Now, it is going to scale. Granted, it will scale, but it's still going to do a lot of damage.
I think it's enough. Okay, that was actually way more than enough. I thought it was going to do less than it actually did, but hey, there you go. Takes a game, gets on board. Not going to go out free for sure.
And right, but let's just talk about how that went down. It was less of being kind of blended up close. That lovely confirm near the end and the fatal blow just being an easy confirm to finish things off. But you know, funnily enough, does the Liu Kang serve a purpose to just give you one game to play with? Is there now another character that he's even happier fighting Cetrion with? Do we see a change from Unjust now?
I mean, there is one character he's happier fighting Cetrion with, and it's Cetrion. But we've just seen that from the past. You know, he has mirrored a lot of Cetrion players, and I don't know if he's necessarily going to go to that. He's been doing very, very well in the Liu Kang matchup, so it does look like he's going to be sticking with Liu Kang. Definitely can't fault him for that. But I think if we do see it go to a Game 5, there's a chance we'll see the mirror. And, you know, we see a lot of Cetrions here in North America. I'm just thinking back to EU. Can I get that kind of like character representation again? Watching Terminator.
Well, we had Terminator, Rain,
and Melina. Yep. And not even like just like some random person using that character one time and losing. Like really good at all of them, especially Terminator. Oh, ouch.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth. But last time we used that to open up the round, and the round actually did not go in his favor, so we kind of lost it for nothing. Yeah, he does that backup. He's looking for the teleport, just in case. The existence of it alone means that pressuring her in the corner is very tricky to do, and there's that teleport into immediate down 4. Yo, that was active. Oh my god.
I mean, if anybody overall, if you counted up the active frames of every character in the game and you combined them into, you know, like one value for each character, Cetron would be far and above everybody else. I don't know why. Everything she has is just active forever.
Elder Goddess, dude. Had to make a debut in some way.
That's true. All things balance.
Oh! Kind of like that empty jump fatal blow with punish, as my Unjust will bring himself onto match point. 1 round away from being in winners finals in stylish fashion, if I say so myself.
Yeah, that was extremely good matchup knowledge, knowing exactly how to punish Earthquake. It is a pretty unsafe move, I'd say. But, you know, if there was a cancel right there, that would have been a really amazing bait. So it was possible, if the bar was there, which I think it was.
There's that immediate confirm. And now not a lot of damage, but just keeping some kind of position afterwards. The natural barrier often being used instead of the wind, because you really don't want them to be able to press. Oh, command grab! We start things off. The thing about the command grab, Chef, really is that it knocks down. It creates that situation where Liu Kang can go in and enforce something else.
Yeah, and for quite a while, too. You get a pretty good Oki off of that, especially if you spend bar. Not that he did. Here comes the zoning again. Oh, Amplified Health Wrath pushes back so far. And there's the teleport. Oh, could have got more after that. That would have been really cool, but just wanted to create some space. Plus on block, and it just backed up anyway.
2 bars well spent. Because now 1 significant hit. Oh, no. The forbidden fruit. Looking for that fatal blow from range. And that's going to be all she wrote. And here we go. It wouldn't be Mighty Unjust without one of these. Do it to him.
I think another one of my favorite friendships in the entire game. This one along with Shang, definitely 2 out of my top 5 at least. So I'm glad we get to see this one. I'm glad that whenever any of those characters wins, they always do the friendship. Short and sweet and throwbacks. Pretty much that's all it takes to please me with friendships. But, you know, the Cetron was looking pretty good. However, Mighty Unjust stuck with his guns, and there's just very few player character combinations as solid as the Mighty Unjust and his Liu Kang, especially now that he has that mix-up potential with Liu Kang and the armor breaker, which is actually almost more important than even having mix-ups, is the fact that he now constantly gets free damage off of 1, 2, 3, or any launch he really gets. And so the Mighty Unjust, to nobody's big surprise, will be advancing into the winners finals.
Being able to play around breakaway is a vital tool. You know, whether it means you have lots of unbreakable damage, whether it means you can get damage whether they break or not. I think that's very. There is a significant difference, I think, Chef, between what we call unbreakable damage and damage the opponent can't avoid even if they break away. I think there's 2 different layers there, where if everything you hit is unbreakable, they're still going to be able to use that meter on other things. But if you have combos that can put the opponent in a position where they choose to spend a vital resource and still take damage, and if they choose not to, you get an even bigger combo still, that's an entirely different ballgame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh, Pain FZ 3-2 over Perfect Shinny.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that both of them had to play it in the first round of the lower bracket, because I really wanted to see more from both of those players today. And El Kukui against Pain should be a really good match. I would not be surprised. In fact, I'd be surprised if that wasn't another 3-2. But then they're going to see one of those 2 will advance into the broadcast match, and then Tweety will be waiting for the loser of our next match. And this is the one you asked me earlier, which semifinal I was looking forward to the most, and it's probably got to be this one, where Illuminati and Biohazard are going to be battling it out, because I don't know how this is going to go really at all.
No, me neither. I can safely say that I agree with you there, Chef, because Biohazard could be going in with the Kano again. We saw that job's a job variation, the bio pool coming out and really putting in the work, but is that going to be the variation for today? Was that just the variation that was used in the first series and now he's going to mix it up a little bit more? Who knows? I think he's going in against Kung Lao and he knows that for a fact. I think it's a safe bet that Illuminati will pick that Kung Lao. Looks like the people definitely favor Bio. Yeah, Bio has some of the most one-sided fan votes, I think. I mean, it goes to show that he's a real people's champ, right? I think a lot of people want to see him win.
Yeah, I mean, well, not only do people want to see him win, but he also does just constantly win. So I think it's kind of a double threat when it comes to the polls. It's not fair. We need to give him some sort of handicap, like, oh yeah, like a natural minus 30% because he's Biohazard. But yeah, I'm curious too as to which variation he's going to bring out. I mean, it made a lot of sense that he brought out the Biopole variation against the Joker, where we got to see that super sick punish on Kapow, which I didn't know about, but I do know about now. And then it also made sense when he was playing against the Buzzsaw variation of Kung Lao, because we saw him pull in Kung Lao and then just sit there and block the Buzzsaw hat and just take the win out of that full situation. So that was really cool. But we're probably not going to see that. So we'll see who he actually is. Okay, he went to Snakebite immediately. He didn't even wait to see who Illuminati picked. Okay, there's the answer.
Now, what variation is it going to be? Buzzsaw? Ah, Buzzsaw. And I think that might even be Possessed Hat for Illuminati. I'm pretty sure I recognized it. Possessed Hat definitely covers those situations where your opponent wants to try and challenge. Is it Possessed? Yes. So Possessed Hat is something that we actually see a lot from our fellow UK Kung Lao player Derpy. He actually won an open series, the one and only open series he was able to enter because of his wasn't at work that day. He entered it and won it with the Possessed Hat and Buzzsaw. Now, what the Possessed Hat does is situations where you want to be able to challenge Buzzsaw, Possessed Hat stops you being able to do that, and it creates a situation similar to like Lotus Fist and Hat Tricks. You know, where the sheer existence of something that can stop you trying to challenge it opens up your options.
Yeah, and also it's a little bit redundant, I would say, to pick the, as you called it, mid hat, aka guided hat, just because you already have Buzzsaw, which is essentially that. So Possessed Hat works a little bit better in pressure. Might as well take it. Not a lot of one-bar options, but that all works out. But here we go, cornered by Bio. Illuminati did take an early life lead, but it's gonna melt.
Yeah, he's going to take so much damage for this.
Oh! Almost 500. That was so much damage. He's going to spin the bar. Just needs one more hit. What's it going to be? Down 4 into Knife Toss. And that lead that Illuminati took so quickly, just as fast, disappeared.
Snake Bite Kano. Never forget the damage. It is absolutely outrageous from Crushing Blow launches.
You remember back when you were like, oh yeah, it's Kano. His mix-up's kind of scary, but at least doesn't do really high damage.
Back in the day.
yeah. The good old days when we didn't have to worry about dealing with this. See, the key is just never fight Biohazard. You'll never have to worry about it, but...
Exactly. Back to back. Yo, 3 down 1 Bio. Playing with fire here. I think those down ones are just letting him test. You can't break. You can't break. The back one's going to blow it up.
If he'd had
At least this variation doesn't have manhandled, so he's not going to kick you in the head.
Okay, Fatal Blow available for Illuminati, and we might see it here. We are.
That was an MK9 spin if I've ever seen it.
Oh man, you remember 9-frame spins or whatever it was? That was also another back in the day thing. Oh, what?
Now, wake up, Super. That's been a thing since the very beginning.
Oh my gosh, that is so uncharacteristic of Bio. I would have never expected that. I mean, maybe he did it on reaction to the startup of the Buzzsaw, or he just made the really hard read that that's what that was going to be. But one way or another, that was the perfect read. Just not something I expected out of him.
I can kind of imagine Bio sitting in his chair after hitting that and just being like, ah, you know, ah, that worked. Great. Let's just take that. Because he still had a round to work with, you know, if he lost that round. You could go straight into another one. But yeah, that whole string of momentum snuffed away from that one giant crushing blow. Half of your life gone in the blink of an eye, and then you're in the corner for most of the game. And always it's scary to see the options that are now available when you combine Command Grab and that launcher. You can see why that launcher costs 2 slots, can't you?
Oh, please don't talk about the idea of it costing 1 slot. I don't even want to imagine.
Can you imagine if this was 1 slot?
Oh, so, some people have like been discussing like, oh, they should make every move 1 slot, and I'm like, no, please.
Snake bite, lumbar check, and manhandled, or chemical burn, or
or
nah. Kano would become like top 3 or something. He'd be mad. It'd be mad.
No. Snake bite and Biopull. That just unnecessary, completely unnecessary. But
it'd be cool though. Cool combos, you know.
It would be. It would be very fun. Oh, no.
The grab game for Illuminati has not worked, and he's learning now that breaking is not something he's going to be particularly able to do either. The counter hit, Bio trying to press after regular knife.
All right, nice knockdown. And there we go. I'm surprised he's really going for the grab still, after they've been punished quite so many times. Oh, hard
That was
read.
a call out. Yeah, he wants you to neutral duck expecting the tick.
All right. Oh, okay. Going for the meaty this time, but Bio's still guessing correctly. Oh,
Another hard call out. That one would have resulted in the game win. Wait a minute. Surely he could have got more damage than that. Illuminati. Jump back dive kick. Still good.
I don't even actually fully understand the forward 1-2 into snakebite read right there. What? I mean, you're not really threatening forward 1-2 command grab, right? That's not a tick throw, so I don't know what that was, but whatever. It didn't work one way or another. And Illuminati.
I think a lot of players might try and duck. I'm not particularly sure if Kung Lao is one of those characters, but a lot of people do try and challenge after those first two hits, especially when you see it go over your head or something. Oh, but this time the grab game not working out for Bio at all, as it will be Illuminati on the verge, and he gets double-digit plus frames off that buzzsaw knockdown. Perfect. Flawless block on wake up to mess with the frame data. Bio has to make a full comeback, but he's done it before.
Oh man, he's done it before so many times. Plus on block. All right, you're respecting him. Now you're gonna get command grabs. There it is. Oh, the air to air. Oh, he had back one fatal blow. No, big drop. It's still there though. He just needs to find one more hit.
The patience for the amplified possessed hat. He remembers the variation he's against back-to-back post. Bio swinging.
That one. Oh! All right, wasn't able to pull it off. That's super unfortunate. Had the win in the bag, just wasn't able to fully finish the combo. And
He had the right idea. I mean, he hit that air-to-air jump in. He had time to do the back one. Problem with Kano's back one is that it's so fast, and in a lot of instances where you want to use it to make it unbreakable, they're in the air for, I mean, really a variable amount of time. So hitting the back one consistently in that situation is tricky because you kind of need to factor in when they're going to try and break and stuff like that. That was the round win right there, but not quite able to get the back one he's looking for. Now, we'll see. What does Bio do now? Snake biter again.
All right, yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was working out. You know, he had the win. I think one of the worst things you can do is take a game where you had a guaranteed win, you dropped it, and then you switch to some other character, because clearly it was working, but, you know, sometimes you just get tilted and you're like, I just don't want to play a character again right now after that drop, and it's definitely happened to the best, but not going to happen to Biohazard right now.
Now, and that's kind of curious to see what kind of turnarounds we could see here, because Illuminati, it just came down to a lot of funky situations. You know, Bio not going for many grabs, but when he finally does, it's getting clipped. As now Illuminati fights back instantly. Wake up. Ooh, the escape.
Oh, manages to get over the buzzsaw. Pretty heavy challenge there. Oh, drops the big conversion. That was a really cool one.
Wow, down one into grab. This is where the threat of the buzzsaw really starts to come into element. Hard to challenge Kung Lao sometimes when he can let that buzzsaw rip at almost any time. The low goes in for the tick. The whiffs on hit. Haven't seen much use of down 4 from Kano yet in this matchup. I think it's because he's fighting such an airborne opponent.
Yeah, I mean, normally we do see so many down 4s out of Biohazard. Oh, tries to punish, but jumps over his head. No defensive bar now. This is scary. This is a very possible chip situation. There's even bar for Illuminati. He can do whatever he wants. Yeah, that's... You're donezo. I think there needed to be an attempt to jump there or something, but the odds were just so low.
And I can see the escape failed was built up. I did see someone asking, what is a tick throw? It's basically where you cancel certain moves on block into your command grab, and while they're blocking, they get hit by the grab. You know, the frames kind of run out just at the right time, basically. But it's always an interesting one, because a lot of tick throws, like you do like a down 1 into command grab, right? If they block the down 1 and they're still blocking, the command grab hits them. They can obviously block the down 1 and then release block to duck the command grab. But when you get hit by the down 1 and the command grab comes out, a lot of the time the aggressor is actually punishable on hit. So you've got to be really careful with what ones you choose to do. And obviously it's different for every character.
Yeah, and during that explanation, that extremely well-said explanation, Biohazard almost going down, but he is now, again, one hit away, and that's going to be the hit that matters. Boom, fatal blow, not out of this yet. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to use it to, like, close out a win. He just needed to use it to make sure he didn't lose, which is still pretty good.
keep you in the fight, go into a new round refreshed. You've both got 100% life again. Let's go. Now, corner positioning also important. Illuminati back to the corner, but with all that meter, I'm about to say, one buzzsaw already established, and that allows him to fight his way out and get a tidy combo for his troubles. Up 3.
Ooh, I like this pressure. A lot of just single hit standing pressure. Nothing really fancy. But also no commitments. Oh no. Oh no, the mix-up's beginning.
Oh, the reversal grab. Wait, has he still got KB? Oh, he did.
Life is even. Oh, is that it? Biohazard could break. Okay, he doesn't. Oh, that's
watch out.
it. That one's it for sure. Wow. Illuminati going up 2-1 against Biohazard.
That was, I mean, the buzzsaw Lao is always something that Bio has kind of historically had trouble against, and I'm kind of wondering what his option will be here. Buzzsaw Lao, it's a variation we don't see much of, which is surprising. I thought this was going to be all over the place, and Illuminati putting it to good use because he's such a specialist at the character. He's played Kung Lao since day 1. Here we are.
Yeah, it's. I just want to go back again to that pro competition event where Sagat was up against Wazminator in grand finals, and Waz was playing Cassie, and everybody's like, yeah, okay, Waz is gonna win, and then he got zoned out by just the raw buzzsaw even being used as a projectile. Like, the variation is so. Whoa, okay, this is not what I expected.
Now, this variation, I recognize Bon Appetit. It is basically just Bone Picker. It is the command grab and spine burst, but he just rocks a nice chef's attire.
You know, I gotta like that one.
Oh yeah, of course, absolutely. You need to get a chef hat for the next broadcast.
I had one. Oh, I don't have it anymore. That's so sad.
Where'd it go?
I don't know. I had it at the old EGP tournaments. I'll bring up a picture at some point later. But regardless, I got to root for the chef a little bit here. But also, I got to root for the command grab Baraka. I don't know how you can not, and immediately taking a really big risk. But the risks won't be punished that heavily unless you're in the corner in this variation.
Now that's the thing is, Bio is so insanely good at getting you there. Goes for a hard call out. In this case, the forward 4 will connect and bring us back to the mid screen. The 1-2-1, a full confirm and a combo here again from Illuminati. 2 for the price of 1, really. But down 1, making that forward 2 whiff for Baraka. Spine burst. All we want you to press, but this time they trade it. Bio, what is this Baraka going to bring to the table? Oh, he goes for the command grab, but the jump back instantly.
Yeah, he was so ready for that and stuffs him out of the fatal blow. Not the first kind of like raw fatal blow that we've seen attempt from Bio Neutral today. And Illuminati on match point with the Buzzsaw Lao.
It has been a constant problem for Bio. He's not had to fight Buzzsaw Lao in some time, but it just continues to be a tricky exchange. And there's Possessed Hat. Now, reversal spine burst able to work. That's an interesting choice, and it works out for him. But now he has him in the corner. This is where Baraka comes alive.
Oh, this variation is especially, I mean, the combos that Biohazard is able to do, look at that reversal. That has to be the reason why he's doing that. He just wants to at least trade with you there. Is he gonna do it again? No, he jumped over it. Okay, so showing that he's got multiple options. This, okay, he had to break away there. He knows how scary it is too.
It's tick upon tick. He's now starting to pressure. Yeah, the 1-1-2, it just creates such a wonderful position here for Bio. And he will end this combo, 1% in it. And I like that he just meaties with the low. You cannot let the jump out, don't let the poke, whatever. You cannot let Illuminati out of this corner.
Yeah, well, it's going to be tough to make it out. I mean, even if you try to get over Baraka's head, yeah, the spine burst is going to be spine burst. Maybe a teleport is going to be the best option. At least if you get hit, you might be out of the corner. Or, hey, landing a dive kick works too.
Oh, overcommitment. Wait, Bio doesn't pull the trigger on the whole string? Not so sure what happened there. There's the flawless block. Did they trade?
That's pretty cool.
Sick. That is, well, that is frustrating if you're the opponent, but clearly awareness there for Bio. And the armor break.
Ooh, he didn't have meter, or that might have actually been it with the crushing blow, but now just needs one more hit. Oh, if he can get out of this corner. Oh,
wait a minute,
no.
He challenges. Looks for the armor break. And again, you can't challenge it. You cannot challenge it. Fatal blow is ready. What's the mix? What's it going to be?
Oh, he's being so patient. Oh, what did it hit? One more hit.
Oh, flawless
anything?
block. Oh! And he would have survived anyway. He would have survived anyway with 1% to spare. Illuminati's going to take it over Biohazard, and it will be Mighty Unjust versus Illuminati in the winners' finals. The Buzzsaw Lao putting in the work, and even down to the final moment. We'll see if Bio can make it through into top 4. That was a good set.
It was, and can I just say, in that final moment, it's pretty hard to recognize for anybody who's not used to watching that variation, but it was actually an amplified buzzsaw that was released immediately, because normally what amplify does is it lets you like hold it a little bit longer and like re-angle it a little bit longer, but if you just do amplify and let it go immediately, it actually becomes just a faster projectile than if you were to throw it normally. So assuming the trade would have killed there, which it apparently would not have, that was a super smart way to close that out. And yeah, I'm surprised that Bio, you know, I mean, we saw Bio win this matchup with the Biopole variation earlier in today, like literally in this bracket. So I'm surprised that we didn't see an attempt at that at all. The pick for the Baraka made a lot of sense, and it showed exactly why he was using it, but overall, it just seems to still be a problem.
Indeed, and I guess we kind of just need to, there's a lot of reflection, right? This just continues to be the development of Bio to think, right, what is my option going to be against this? Because he looked like he was very much more comfortable against it now than when we originally saw it, which I guess, you know, obviously, because it had only just become competitively a thing. But even then, it still looked like the Baraka was good. The Baraka gave him his best chance there, but not quite enough. But we can now see, ooh, El Kakoi was able to 3-0 Pain FZ, and it's Bio versus Tweedy battling for top 4 off stream, as Mighty Unjust versus Illuminati will be the next match that we see. Now we're going to go against we're going to go for a break, sorry. But before we do, I'd like to always use this opportunity to remind everyone watching that you can get involved in these tournaments. There's still time to do it. Compete.playstation.com is the one and only place you have to go. Gives you all the instructions. It's all done through the PS4. Simple, self-explanatory process. Couldn't be easier to compete online these days. It's all done for you using the systems in place. But I'd love to see you in our next tournament, because there's still players making their debut months and months and months down the line, like 9 or 10 months. It's kind of ridiculous. We're going to go for a quick break, and when we come back, we will conclude today's North American tournament. Wins finals up next.
Jokes, no gimmicks, just combat.
PlayStation.
This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown, Sindel. The Edenian Queen is back and more fearsome than ever. Her variations are strong, but her most important attacks are actually what she has by default, and not variation specific. She boasts incredible range. Her Scream is arguably her most powerful tool due to the crushing blow attached. This is something your opponents will have to play around, as once they get hit by it, they will take severe damage, especially if she has her fatal blow ready. Her towards back kick is a key attack that can cause a lot of headaches for her opponent. This cartwheel leads to a string that is completely safe and resets you back to mid-screen distance, allowing her to play an effective hit-and-run style. In addition, her towards back punch leads to a long-reaching overhead string, and her away back punch is a low attack that launches the opponent in the air. This mix-up keeps opponents on their toes, which can be easier said than done when combined with her other distance options. With range on her side, Sindel can absolutely be a force to be reckoned with. Low damage at first glance, but can explode life bars with the right resources loaded.
PlayStation.
This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown, Geras. Making his debut in Mortal Kombat 11, Geras is a big body character with fearsome attacks and abilities. Geras hits hard and has formidable strategies built around large combos or command grabs. His playstyle dramatically changes based upon which variation is chosen, more than most characters. New Era uses the universal Titan Tackle in a unique way. Stepping it back grants him tricky cancels, and Spike grants more ranged options. New Era lets you really get into your opponent's head when you're on the offense. Infinite Warden grants heavy-hitting combos with bed of spikes. You'll lose the Titan Tackle, so you'll rely heavier on your basic throws. In addition, you get an alternate version of Sand Trap which deals more damage than usual, and also moves Geras next to the opponent afterwards. Eternal focuses on a dry, runaway style using the Sand Simulacrum, which is different to the usual aggression you'll see from the other two variations. Eternal is more geared towards movement, as you can be a serious pest with the right decisions. Geras has many impressive attacks, but his variations add a ton to his toolkit. Play safe and sensible, and you will find yourself making some serious progress.
PlayStation.
This is the Mortal Kombat character breakdown, Sub-Zero. Another staple to the MK franchise, Sub-Zero keeps many of the moves that we all remember. The full combo Ice Ball and Slide are integral parts of his game plan across every variation. Dead of Winter can amplify Ice Ball for a faster startup, providing increased combo potential of certain moves. Additionally, it goes through projectiles. The Cold Shoulder replaces Slide, but does excellent damage. If you want mix-ups and combos combined, Dead of Winter is the choice for you. Thin Ice trades larger combos for projectiles, of which we have plenty. These projectiles can all be used together to greatly increase Sub-Zero's neutral game. Finally, Avalanche is the setup variation, thanks to one special, the Arctic Trap. This creates an obstacle on screen that will freeze the opponent when touched. Opponents can often find themselves stuck in certain positions that they'd very much rather avoid. Sub-Zero is a rare character in MK11 that has both an overhead and low hitting attack that can truly enforce an overhead or low mix-up. Add good variations on top, and Sub-Zero becomes a lethal choice for mix-up heavy players.
PlayStation.
This is the Mortal Kombat attacks, meterless combo potential, and big damage across the board. Combine his lethal base moveset with 3 different variations that expand on this massively, and you're left with a character that has a tool for every occasion. The Clown Prince variation brings range and keep away thanks to a low projectile. Amplify this for high damage, and additionally providing unbreakable damage to really save your skin. Ace of Knaves is tricky and uses Jumping Jester and Jack-in-the-Box. These tools provide scary knockdown pressure and trap the opponent into unfavorable positions. Finally, Madman is damage and safety through and through. Great for newcomers and not very complicated, also boasting the most streamlined combo game around the launching properties of Kapow, which Madman has instead of the Bird Boy beatdown special. Universally, his fatal blow can be cancelled out of, and even has a throw-crushing blow tied to its cooldown. This alone gives the Joker the most dangerous fatal blow in all of MK11, often a game changer. Fans of the Joker will feel right at home, terrorizing the competition.
PlayStation.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the PS4 Tournament's Mortal Kombat 11 Open Series. We are ready to finish out the North American bracket here at the third week of March, and it has been an interesting day of somewhat upsets so far. I mean, it's hard to say upsets, but we've definitely seen some big names go down, I think is the best way that I can put it. And we've seen the return of Illuminati, who's made it all the way into the upper bracket finals to take on the Mighty Unjust using that very strong Kung Lao. And on the bottom side, it's a heartbreaker that this is off stream, but Biohazard versus Tweety's playing to earn their spot on stream.
And that will be happening as we speak. So by the time the winners finals is concluded, no doubt we'll be able to have information and find out what happened, and we'll check it out in time for top 4. But I mean, the Open Series, we've been doing this for so long. I think we started them last year in about June, if I recall, right around the release of Aftermath or so. And now here we are, you know, new version of the game, new characters. Variations are a bit of the Wild West now. You can just pick whatever you want. And now, Mighty Unjust versus Illuminati are going head to head. And Illuminati's been there since the very beginning of PS4 tournaments. I remember Mr. Aquaman and myself were commentating a show. It was the PS4 tournaments, the Runback, which was basically an invitational of players that had continued to do really well, because the PS4 tournaments was a thing that was just happening passively. They didn't start in June. It was just broadcasts beginning then, but they were constantly taking place. So they kind of gathered a bunch of the most successful players. And if I recall, Illuminati was one of them, like ages and ages ago. And here we are, almost full circle, that now he's back and he's going up against Mighty Unjust.
Yeah, and also, fun fact, Deoxys won that event and then didn't play in the Open Series for some reason. I guess he was happy enough with that.
He did, I remember it well. That was Averk's first proper tournament in like a setting as well, I believe. That was the first time a lot of us saw Averk back in the day. Damn, already been a long time though, hasn't it? Over a year at this point.
Oh my god, please do not remind me. It still feels like I'm living like several years in the past right now. But let's not talk about depressing things like that. Let's talk about this upper bracket finals. Mighty Unjust taking on Illuminati. Like you said, two players who have been here from the start. But I feel like Illuminati didn't really like appear as a gigantic threat until Buzzsaw Lao came out. But now, clearly, just from what he's used today, he's good with every type of Lao. I don't know if we're going to see Buzzsaw. I don't know if we're going to see Lotus Fist. But Kung Lao, still a really solid character.
I mean, Illuminati's been a specialist of Lao for some time. You know, before Ultimate, he was rocking a combination of Lotus Fist and hat tricks. I know he preferred to use Lotus Fist, I think. He didn't have as much success with the hat tricks. But it means that he wasn't kind of going in with Lao as one set design. He still had variety in his mind, and I think it makes sense that even today we've seen 3 separate variations at least. We've seen Lotus Fist, we've seen Guided Hat and Orbiting Hat. Right now, what's it going to be? I think is very much that was just Lotus Fist, I think. At least if I recognize the icons, there's just different varieties of hat, so it's hard to tell until we see the name. Let's have a look.
It's like Garrus, how all of his say sand in them. Yeah, so this is absolutely Lotus Fist.
The only reason I know all of Rain's is because I play Rain. He's like my main character. Because it's like Hydro this, Water this, and it's like, oh god, help us
Geyser,
out,
Hydro, yeah, it's all the same thing. But of course, variation-wise for this Jackie, it's gonna be what we expect. There's pretty much only one variation of Jackie right now, although she'd be they
can hear it.
definitely are giving you favor here. But I guess you have seniority over me in this anyway. I was about to do the sounds myself, but now that this might be sounds back, let's pass on that because that would have been embarrassing. And Illuminati, wow, that was a very strong round. Doesn't need sound for him to win.
It came back for me, which means that hopefully we will be able to get it back for the viewers at home as well.
Yeah.
Keep one eye out as soon as we know.
I don't think so.
I think I saw a couple of people say, yeah, we're back. Good.
Nice.
Crisis averted. I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing happened.
Well, oh boy, this is a tough situation. Not going to break away, and that means you're going to be taking a lot of damage. Are we going to see? So right there, I'm so used to K-Top always setting up the ground damage over time right there. It's not going to matter. Oh,
there goes the hat.
I love that brutal. That's such a good brutal. They reach down to pick it up. It's silly. I love it.
And then with Kung Lao, it's extra funny because the hat just goes flying off.
Yep. Same thing with Raiden. Anybody who's wearing something on their head that gets like affected by fatalities, they get some pretty funny interactions, especially with anything that will knock their head off.
But now, the first game. So when basically when the offense was working out for Illuminati, it was a completely different world, but didn't really get to spend 2 rounds in that state because reality is those rounds began, Unjust closed in the gap, and the rest was history. That basic game between the buttons versus the grab, which when you use the grab at just the unpredictable amount of times, just enough unpredictability that every button becomes really scary, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, we see a pretty different game plan as far as trying to open the opponent up from different jackies. Some of them, they literally just try to stay in the air forever. Some of them play a little bit more neutral based and try to get people to whiff stuff, for example. But some of them just grab a lot and know exactly how to play that sort of strike throw game, along with the very scary pressure and super high damage that we see out of Jackie. And I think that's what we're seeing a lot of from the Mighty Unjust. He definitely is a little bit more throw happy than, for example, looking earlier, K-Top. Alright, gets over. Tries to hold that corner. Oh, big combo.
Had enough sport?
I mean, I like the idea.
Hops.
I like the idea of the meaty, but I just love that setup from K-Top so much. The ground.
But we actually don't see a lot of American jackies do it. When you kind of use the extensive knockdown frames of Dash Punch to do like a short hop into ground burst, and then you kind of meaty it as they stand up, and the chip damage is insane. Back to back, and that's easy confirm. Illuminati will be able to take that round. Good stuff.
Yeah, he's staying very, very competitive throughout this entire thing. It's looking pretty good for him, honestly, altogether. I don't really know what this matchup is, but I don't think that anybody's going to have fun in it, basically. All right, standing in the damage. Ooh, good pickup. Great pickup, actually. In my head, still, every time that I see a Jackie take a throw, I'm like, all right, here comes the damage. Just from old first round KO. This will never leave my brain.
Oh, teleport. The cheeky business. Yo, walking up into grab. The immediate neutral jump challenge is going to give him another round at the board. Mighty Unjust. All right, back in it. Definitely not one-sided, though. Illuminati fighting back, but he needs to get a little bit more in this final round. What could it be?
Yeah, I don't know. He's got the slight meter advantage, but he's not going to win the zone.
Lovely.
For sure.
Oh. That's what we're looking for. And I like the fact that he chose to anti-air there purely, Mighty Unjust. He just spent meter on that attack. There's no way he's breaking away. Good chunk of damage. Oh, but this time he has the last laugh. The short hop has been a constant threat here.
Yeah, it's weird. It's such a base mix-up idea, and when you have so many different options like we see Jackie have, it's weird to see that somebody would go to something like that, but it's been working very well. However, Mighty Unjust just one hit away, has Fatal Blow. Great block, great patience.
Oh, there's the down 2 though. Illuminati not messing around. Good stuff, and we're going to tie things up 1-1.
Yeah, Illuminati, hasn't been here in the open series for a while, but looking stronger than ever for sure. I mean, This is looking just extremely solid, and not even using Buzzsaw. I've definitely seen some Buzzsaw play against Jackie that works out really well, just because you can, for instance, bait her into trying to leap by throwing out a Buzzsaw, then you amplify it and you move it up, and then they land on it, bless you. And
my
that's
production
not what
mic
we're
was
seeing.
muted, by the way, so only you heard that. Also, my rabbit that's not Tal has infiltrated the room. Get out.
Oh, that's rare.
I know. Wait, she's come up the stairs, and I haven't got a camera set up ready for her, but I actually need to try and get her out. You know, leave. Hey. Don't you chew my dumbbells.
If you need to take a rabbit herding break, then I will be here to.
I might need
cover
to
for
quickly
the...
go and
right.
and get her out because she's gonna like eat a wire for something, I think.
Okay, well, unfortunately, you're gonna have to miss whatever happens here, but
I'll be right back. I promise.
all right, have fun. Say hi to your rabbit for me. But Mighty Unjust switching to Cetrion. Cetrion, I mean, was looking good earlier. This is definitely a sign that he just wasn't feeling comfortable with the Jackie. However, Illuminati looking so strong, just like usual, carrying him all the way to the corner so quickly, and just leaving that pressure on. Oh, this is looking just ridiculous. Mighty Unjust is honestly guessing right a lot of the time on defense too. You know, right there using the orbiting hat, but it just didn't matter. As that's gonna be the close, and Illuminati so quickly taking that round. It sounds like...
I've returned. My fiance is taking care of it.
All right, you were gone for like 5 seconds, and already Illuminati took the first round
against...
against...
What, this round is already gone? What happened here?
I know, and it's against his Cetrion too. Made the switch. Super interesting. Just that it's still turning out this way. All right, that's okay. Not a huge conversion. That is one big difference between the Mighty Unjust and El Kukui, is that El Kukui will always convert a hit into amplified vines, and often Mighty Unjust just takes the normal hit. Back in the corner. Butt fighting his way out. I mean, look at that. All it takes is like 2 strings.
Ooh. Nice whip punish though. Spending both bars, immediately letting it rock. There's the confirm, and it will be 1 round apiece. Cetrion so far hasn't been the kind of be-all, end-all. That super rapid first round that I still can't believe happened as quick as it did. I come back, I sit down, and already a round is gone. Not used to seeing that. Flawless block, nice business. The teleport.
Oh, he went for the grab, but she was airborne still. That's really funny. It was like too fast. Definitely getting a life lead regardless of that. Could have been a little bit higher. Oh, didn't have guided hat, so there's no way to actually trade with that. Might Unjust might start realizing that, going for a little more earthquakes. Ooh, that was a really nice way to punish. Dash forward into natural barrier.
Oh, he threaded the needle with that jump in. That is not a jump over the barrier that we're used to seeing.
I
Doesn't
know.
press a button. Oh, big whiff.
And that's gonna be it. You know, it was looking really good for Illuminati, especially in that first round. The Mighty Unjust just kind of took it in an anticlimactic manner, or an anticlimactic way, and just kind of jabs into tornado, jabs into tornado, string into tornado, just waiting for the right moments. Barrier, and that's a pretty classic Cetrion style, I would say. I think there's a good chance that we see a switch variation-wise, just because it doesn't seem like there was a whole lot of opportunities to use Orbiting Hat against Cetrion, and also having a mid-projectile seemed like it might have been important to try to counter zone when the Earthquakes are coming out, but nope, looks like maybe we're going back in with the same thing.
Now, I do have a off-stream result between Tweedy and Biohazard. Tweedy defeated Bio 3-2. That was a game 5, and that now will be Tweedy moving into our top 4 to join El Kukui. I think Tweedy versus El Kukui will be our matchup after this, and then whoever wins that will, go on to face the loser of this match. But now, Orbiting Hat and Guided Hat has come back. Now, he's used that against Cetrion a couple of times.
Fight.
Yeah. So I thought there was no change at all, but the Guided Hat is definitely, I think, a call out against the Earthquake. Yep, there we go. We're seeing it right there. He's like, yeah, we're gonna have to trade now.
I'm sick of you low profiling. Eat this. I told you,
Exactly.
mid hat.
Mid hat.
It's not a guided hat, it's mid hat. Ooh. Oh, wow, we're going in. Short hop.
Oh, could have got the crushing blow. Decided to save it just because he knows he has so much of a lead, and I think it's a really good call.
Double meterless spin. That's impressive. Mid-screen.
Yeah, it's a really cool combo. I love it. Oh, but there's so much space. What jump back dive kick in the corner? It even traded, but it worked. And Illuminati, you can already tell that the fact that he chose Guided Hat changed the entire pace of this matchup. It's no longer going to be 100% just the Mighty Unjust able to run away. It's going to be a lot closer of a matchup, quite literally, like as far as distance played, I mean.
And he's able to fight back, push him towards the corner. That Sentry on teleport's always going to be an option, but again, a lot of players, they do not like the idea of spending both bars to escape. They always want to see if they can squeeze. Oh, I was about to say squeeze out a cheeky regular teleport, but right here, Illuminati pushing forward again. This is looking like a game 5 as far as I'm concerned.
It is, but Mighty Unjust has Fatal Blow, and that means it's basically 2 nice conversions into being over. Oh, that's scary. Being in the sky right now. Oh, I love that. He's doing it again. We haven't seen that since earlier today.
That's that hat once more. The Hell's Wrath knocks him out of the air. Illuminati, that's a confirm. Ooh, into the game 5. Let's go.
I love that. He was so patient in waiting to use the orbiting hat that he just waited and waited and waited. And then finally, he's like, okay, this is the perfect moment. Let's do it. And it worked out. So going to game 5 against the Mighty Unjust, this is honestly pretty surprising. It's very rare that anybody except for maybe like Tweedy and Biohazard make it to a game 5 against the Mighty Unjust. And it's good to see, honestly. It's quite good to see.
I agree wholeheartedly, because in this situation, I mean, it's quickly, I think, becoming a case where we see at the start of the show, we looked at previous champions, and Mighty Unjust only appeared in like one of the lists because it was Biohazard a couple of times, it was Tweedy a couple of times. Like bit by bit, this is no longer just kind of the Mighty Unjust show special guest Ice Scorpion. And it used to be, because they were just the 2 most dominant players pretty much every single week. We started to see Sunio a little bit. I believe he's unable to participate in these days, so we haven't seen Sunio in some time. Yeah, sure, but now this sheer amount of players that are rolling up to Open Series and then making Mighty Unjust work tooth and nail for the win, that it's never set in stone.
Yeah, I know. It always feels bad because we're like, oh, it's really cool to not see Mighty Unjust win. But like, I'm actually like a gigantic Mighty Unjust fan. Like, I will root for Mighty Unjust in literally every tournament. Like, I actually genuinely want him to win like every single tournament. But it's just cool to see how things have changed since he's had his double 9 win streaks. And he's moving back to Jackie and already controlling the pace of this match. Ooh, I say as we see a really nice air-to-air jump too there. Ooh, okay, just goes for like a weird reversal jab, but whatever works.
Ooh, wow, that jab punished. And again, not quite getting a confirm. Lovely tech there from Mighty Unjust. But a bit of a weird round. Oh, just at the right time.
Yeah, he always knows when people are going to throw projectiles, and yep, just end up losing in the puddle. And now it is match point Mighty Unjust. And corner positioning, not going to be easy. Oh, the one projectile he threw, and it was leaped over again. That's why Buzzsaw can be a little bit better in this matchup, because you can actually get a combo from them trying to do that. But he already locked into this variation in the final game. And now just needs like one more strong hit. Great punish on the air mobility. All right, this could be the start of a comeback. It's the double mulus again.
This is going to be a hard comeback to make all the same. Fatal Blow might be ready, but a clean anti-air, and there's no breaker available. Side switch.
This is definitely not impossible. Great call, though.
Now it might be.
It might be, yeah. With the damage over time on the floor, you got to find an opening here. No! No way to do it. I love the attempt. If the Fatal Blow had maybe come out a little bit earlier and had actually hit Jackie, maybe it would have gotten into the animation before the damage over time killed Kung Lao, but that's not what happened. And so in the end, despite a very close match, Mighty Unjust felt like he controlled that last one pretty well with Jackie, and he will be the one moving into the winner's side of Grand Finals.
I mean, he's always going to be one of the favorites, and that matchup, he still had to work very hard for it. But again, the second you kind of win that first game, or you're in a position where you get to have that last character change, it changes the whole game. Illuminati going for different variations of Lao definitely helped him from matchup to matchup, but then if he fought Jackie, probably wouldn't have wanted to have the Guided Hat versus Jackie, because it's not going to do as much for him. The Guided Hat was really good against Cetrion because it basically allowed her to not low profile the Straight Hat, and that completely altered the game, but he was locked into it in the final match. It just goes to show the importance of that first game win if you plan on changing every single time.
Yeah, and then of course just knowing that in the last game you really have to lock into something that you're going to be comfortable with against every single option that your opponent has, which is pretty much impossible to do when your opponent plays as many characters and variations as Mighty Unjust, but you can see such a good example of that. However, I do think it was a really smart choice to switch the Guided Hat to begin with in the very first situation. It really, really showed how he was able to change the pace of the match. Regardless, he will be moving down to fight the winner of our next match, and that is going to be Tweedy taking on El Kukui. And it is sad that we didn't get to see the 3-2 from Tweedy against Biohazard, but that's what happens. You have top players like that making only 5th place because these tournaments are tough.
Hey, but this is the point that we've reached. I looked at last week and the weeks prior, and we're starting to say every week, man, these brackets are getting ridiculously stacked, because I mean they are. We're at a position now where the level of play is so good, and players that they're getting that practice in all the time. And Tweedy versus El Kukui, this is a matchup that I think definitely favors Tweedy recently. But when Tweedy actually made his debut to Open Series, I think his first ever matchup in, I think week 1 of January was against Bio, and Bio 3-0'd him. And then he fought El Kukui the week after, round 1 of winners, and El Kukui, I think, 3-0'd him. It was a really clean victory for El Kukui and a big surprising result for me, because it took Tweedy some time to really kind of find his feet in Open Series. But once he did, he started to get like grand finals appearances all the time. Now he's kind of back into his element. Clearly the people agree with that 74% ratio over Tweedy, which personally I agree with too. I think Tweedy has the chance here, but I think Game 5 could definitely happen. But Tweedy's my favorite going into this matchup.
Yeah, it's hard to not make that call, honestly. Again, you know, I said it in the last match, and I don't want to, you know, make it sound like I'm, you know, talking down about his player or anything like that, but I still think that, I think El Koi is an amazing player, obviously is, to get this far, but it still never feels like he has like a full 100% comfort pick in any real matchup. So I think we might see the Cetron here again, which like I said, might be what's becoming his true main, but I'm not sure if he's there yet. Yeah, he is going to go for the Cetron.
I mean, he's also got the benefit of just seeing Unjust 3-0 Tweedy in the same matchup, and they play the same characters, so he's gone into this matchup with a lot more information. Where Cetrion, it makes sense to be the pick. Like, it's probably very easy for us to kind of look at it and go, oh, Cetrion again, but the reality is he plays the character at a great level, and he's just seen his brother beat Tweedy in this exact matchup. I'd pick it if I played it.
Yeah, and not just win, but win pretty cleanly, like a 3-0,
man.
Nearly uncontested. So if that's looking good, definitely try it out. But this is a different player. Plus, you know, oftentimes when you, especially if you have to go through the lower bracket and beat somebody who's really strong, like Tweedy just did against Biohazard, a lot of times you gain a ton of momentum. However, I say that, and Tweedy's already at Half-Life.
And this is the opening. The opportunity for, the wake-up buttons, the confidence coming out. Because I know you said at the start of the set, it's never felt like El Kukui kind of has this one main, as it were. Like, you know, the character you know that they're always going to go to when the chips are down or whatever, because they're so heavily matchup focused. Cetrion, I think, is definitely becoming that pick in Ultimate for El Kukui. It's just well practiced, plays the game incredibly well, as does El Kukui. It's a great combination.
Pretty good character too.
Beat.
Yeah, and there we go. So far, if we're just looking at one round, which really isn't that indicative of anything, the Cetron pick seems to be working again. And I can't imagine that Tweedy is not comfortable in this matchup, at least at somewhat, because like you said earlier in the bracket, you're gonna run into at least 1, if not 2, if not 6 Cetrons in almost any given tournament run.
Ooh, no buffer there, perhaps no confidence. Well, not as much. Don't say no confidence. That sounds a little bit too harsh, but
I know.
Not letting it
no
run.
confidence.
No, calm down, Ketchup. God.
So
What did
mean.
ever do to you? Oh, the advantageous situation. No trade here. Quicksand saw to that.
Oh, jumps back. Felt like maybe there was some opportunity to whiff punish. Maybe a Hell's Wrath, actually. That's one thing to remember, is that every time you jump back, Hell's Wrath is kind of like a dive kick, which is a really weird thing to say. But oh, that, I didn't think he was close enough to the corner right there. That felt kind of far. Oh, this is big. There is defensive bar. Doesn't get, usually we see, okay, oh, wait, is that it? I think that's it.
I mean, I think this does about 34%. So it's either going to be just enough or a couple of percent short. But I'm pretty sure I remember it. Oh no, it's going to do more. Because it came from a more damaging starter.
Yeah.
It came from a more damaging starter. I think it does 34% if it comes from 1-1, I'm pretty sure. Like, you know, one of the lighter hits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it was because it went from a slightly a stronger beginning, which matters a lot, because especially as soon as you go into the vines, it is super scaled. With
heavily. Cetrion, it does for sure, because if it comes from the lights, she gets about kind of 18% or so, and then when it comes from one of her more popular mids into the vines, the kind of standing button into barrier does about 20. I think it's exactly 20, actually. So it's like those tiny little details for Cetrion, a character where it's not really about the initial damage, it's about what comes next afterwards as well, whether it's chip or whatever. Tweedy, what's it going to be here? Geras, of course.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen him switch in the Open Series.
One
of
time.
Course.
It was
did
against
he?
Titanium Tigers for a single game against Shiva, where Melina was picked to get the one win he needed. It was one single match. So it barely counts, but it was a thing. But it was a long time ago too.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Tweedy does have pretty strong tournament results with Melina. One of the few people to actually do well with Melina as soon as she came out, but I think he's expressed that he feels like she has a lot of issues and probably doesn't want to go back to her unless you end up with some weird matchup. And of course, I'm assuming it was Stomp Shiva. Well, it might not have been. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
it was Tigers. It definitely was. It absolutely was.
Yeah. So that might be a unique situation. But as far as things go here, I'm expecting all the way Geras. However, the zoning at the start looking really good. Okukui already taking him down to about half life.
Now, I've seen people in chat kind of express this could be a bit of a tricky matchup for Geras. I think it's a far cry from what it used to be, you know, because if this was Spring Cleaning versus Geras, it's a different story. But now she's got the ground pound, she's got the wins being the big one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you know, tricky matchup for Geras, sure, but tricky matchup for also every other character in the game.
Yeah, exactly. That's why she's number one, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's, you know, and it's not even necessarily like, oh, you got to figure out what to do in this matchup. It's like, yeah, you're going to block and you're going to get pushed back, and that's how life's going to go. But it's all about taking advantage of the opportunities that you do get. And so Geras, oh, wow, slapped. But, yeah, no, Geras is going to need to get a knockdown and then just mix. Just strike, throw to death, period.
Fight.
Yeah, Cetrion is becoming a bit of a problem character for Tweedy so far. I know he's not enjoying the matchup very much. He's struggled against it just now against the brother of Okukui. Mighty Unjust was able to secure that 3-0 to start off, and it looks like the way things are going, maybe a repeat of history. Tweedy, hopefully having other plans, can challenge it a bit. Oh, but that trade, it's not about the damage, it's the fact that they just doesn't get corner positioning. The trade means he can teleport out, and that's bad news for Tweedy.
Yeah, I mean, just as scary as Cetrion is as a zoner, she can actually pressure you in the corner for a lot of damage. I'm gonna do this a lot, but you know, she's very similar to Superman in that aspect, where
she is.
Breath through breath until you try to jump out, and then she stops you from jumping out, or you try to press a button and she whiff punishes the button, and then it gets scary. But one more hit here that's almost guaranteed, and a quick 2-0. This is definitely the most dominant match that Okukui's had against Tweedy, and the first time they played, I think, was pretty one-sided, but this is looking maybe even more so.
The last time they played, I believe we were seeing other characters too. I think this is the first time it's been the Cetrion, because when I first saw them play it with Sub-Zero, the victory came from just, you know, that mix, bruh. But like, that was a while ago now at this point, and the way we're just seeing things develop, the Cetrion clearly becoming the problem for Tweedy, which, look, I know it's a problem for everyone, but especially Tweedy, because he's just lost 3-0 against Mighty Unjust. He 3-2'd Biohazard and loses, and now he's going up against the exact same matchup, and he's on the verge of getting 3-0'd again by, you know, the twin of us. They have a similar play style, you know, it's almost like they're twins or something. It's just, I'd have picked Cetrion here too. It was a good idea, and he had plenty of information to think, this is the matchup I should take, you know?
Yeah, and honestly, his Cetrion is looking better, I think, than it has been in previous weeks. I do hope he continues to kind of commit to the Cetrion because, hey, it's a great character to commit to, right? I mean, we're literally just talking about how good she is. And I guarantee you, I can pretty much guarantee you that if this is a 3-0, we're going to see a whole lot more Cetrion out of El Kukui. But we'll see if Tweedy can make the adaptation. Looks like he was going in with the same thing and just got to make the right calls, I guess.
If Tweedy loses this 3-0 as well, I guarantee you he is going to extensively run this matchup with as many Cetrions as he can before the next tournament. Now, he's going to want to make sure that either it's one of his other characters or it's just a different way of playing Geras, knowing Tweedy, that's normally the adaptation. Trying to interrupt in between and not quite able to squeeze the button out. But unfortunately, this is just continuing, trying to challenge again. But every time he's sticking out that knee, normally the Tweedy that we're familiar with, there's a buffer into Bed of Spikes on that. And he has not done a single buffer this whole set. I just don't think he's as confident this time round.
Yeah, I mean, if you think that it's going to get blocked or that you're spacing slightly off, then you're like, okay, I'm just going to go for 4-3 to be safe. And like I said, every single time. But all right, he's got Fatal Blow. He just needs one solid hit here. Oh, that's a solid hit. All right, so I think Fatal Blow is coming. No. Can he do this without?
I have lost audio, unfortunately.
Wow.
But
Such
Tweedy.
is life.
Fight.
Oh, it's back. It's back. Never mind, it's back. Yeah, I could have totally got away with not mentioning that. Sorry, production.
I know. It's that thing. You always, you and Muster always talk about it, where you're like, nobody would have noticed that if you hadn't said anything. And
I know, but last time I wasn't sure. We're in the middle of a match. I can't go and quickly just message chat because we're going. You know, we're live TV.
I know, but all right, it's okay. It's back. We're here. Tweedy finally getting himself on the board. And the best thing there was, oh, nice crushing blow. Speaking of crushing blows, that's what I was about to say. He ended that combo in the corner knowing exactly that it would kill without having to use the board one grab crushing blow, which would have lost him corner positioning. Plus now he gets to save it for another round. So altogether very smart, including that punish with the 1-1 on the natural barrier. And that might be it. I honestly don't know.
Hear the rest of it. There we go. we had to audio censor the last hit for the savageness. As now, Tweedy, okay, he gets a game on the board, and saving that fatal blow in that first round allowed him to secure the win in round 2. As it goes, the hallmarks of a player that this is what it's this level of optimization for me that really allows players to shine as top level, because small details like that, where most of us in that situation, you'd be so tempted to just spend the fatal blow. But when you're so familiar with your own character and the damage that you can do in every situation, even if it's down to the percent, saving a fatal blow for the next round is so important. And he knew his regular B&B was going to do it.
Yeah, I would be scared. I'm a coward for sure. I would have definitely just done fatal blow. But that's what you get when you really commit to a character for a really long time. And Tweedy finally putting himself on the board. Not going to get 6-0'd by Cetrion. So even if he loses this next one, at least he can walk away with that bit of a minor victory. But he's definitely, after winning that first one, not going to just give up. That's going to reinvigorate him, I'm sure. And he's found some sort of answer, clearly. So we're going back in, and the zoning's already beginning. And you guys can still see us. Hi, we're sitting here cheering behind the players. That's pretty unique.
I don't know.
I think for the rest of the broadcast, you should just do all the sounds. That was pretty good. Oh no, okay. I always see escape failed, and it doesn't matter which character it is. I'm like, escape failed, and then I realize I'm looking at Citron, and I'm thankful she doesn't have throw crushing blows. Oh, nice. Actually juggles with the 8. Yeah, I think we need to see El Kukui stop doing so many of the natural barriers. They're just getting punished every single time. You can tell that Tweety has that level of experience. I mean, you have to, especially early in the game. That was just her only option, but nice big conversion. I'm going to say definitely not enough this time, but it's going to knock full screen. It's going to allow for some chip, and it's going to do quite a bit of damage. That's more important than anything else. Oh, never mind.
Oh my lord. And during all of this, a reverse sweep in the making.
Yeah, maybe, honestly, Tweety needs less audio, you know? Maybe somehow the audio is bad luck for him, so when we turn off the audio, he gets that much more powerful. I think that's the only way that I can figure it, because he's looking way better now than he was in the first few games of the set. Or whatever it is, honestly, truly, though, he has found the adaptation. He's figured out what the answer is a little bit more to this matchup. And I think a lot of it is just guessing right a little bit more on the strike throw.
Oh, yeah, for sure. On a serious note, everyone, sorry for the audio issues and stuff that we're having so far. I guess it's just the nature of these things. Sometimes the hiccups can happen. So cheers to the production team for doing everything you can as and when it happens. But we're now going into this final game, a reverse sweep in the making, like I said before, and whoever wins this goes on to fight Illuminati in losers finals. For those that might just be joining us, it's Mighty Unjust sitting in grand finals with the winner's side advantage, so he's got quite the comfort zone. But we still have to find out the second player that's going to join him, right?
Yeah, and if it's either of these players, they will have had a very tough path. But this is where it gets tough, you know, when you're playing so many characters like El Kukui does. It can be difficult to think, okay, this was working, now it's not working, but do I stick with it or try something else? Honestly, I would like to see him... I was going to say stick with Cetrion, but you know what? Sub-Zero can work too.
Can't decide what variation, though, it seems. All right, this is Rising Axe, Air Axe, and... I mean, it has to be Creeping Ice, knowing Sub-Zero in Customs.
Most likely, yeah. It's interesting to see. This clearly has to be like an Creeping Ice. This has to be probably set to go against Garrus. We don't see the Air Axe too often anymore, but that's always been an angle that has been difficult for Garrus to deal with, especially if it is safe to sand trap, which it is. So I'd have to assume this is intentionally picked out for this. But a good start from Tweety. Alright, lands the hit, but doesn't confirm an Ice Ball. Whoa, Ice Ball preemptive punish. Oh no, you actually get a ton of damage off of that. You can get the full, it's either jump kick or jump 2. I think it might be just be jump 2 into down 2, and even if they break away, you still get like over like 30% just for that.
Oh, this is going to do more than 30. Ew, 44%, just like that. The perfect call out, but the punish on the short hop knee. El Kukui, seen that one before. Speaking of damage, he misses it.
Oh no, a lot of dropped combos so far. I'm surprised that he's managed to keep it this close, but if he hadn't dropped those combos, he might have already won. Just staggers 2-4. Nice flawless block. Oh, he did it as an anti-air. It's always gonna hit. It doesn't matter. There's just a rule that if anybody does forward 2 fatal blow, it's gonna connect. It doesn't need to hit them as an overhead. It just needs to hit them. And it did. So match point El Kukui, but no more fatal blow.
There's the confirm.
Yeah, it's
now
gonna
it's
be a lot of
Tweety.
damage.
It's Tweety, so you know he's going to spend both bars. Always, because the combo takes so long. By the time it's done, he's got half a bar to build, and then it's over. Look.
Wow. It just doesn't have the bar back yet, though, so it's just going to be the minimum amount of damage, which is still quite a bit. Of course, that's one thing that people don't really look at, is that Bed of Spikes does so much damage as a launcher because it itself does a ton of damage. Oh, the Tweety Classic, down 4 into Sand Trap. Needs one more hit, and final round.
this is just to get into minimum third. This is just to fight Illuminati and losers finals. It has been a long graft here for Tweedy. The 2-0 Swift he had to take against Cetrion, and the turnaround he's had, oh dearie me. Now, what's it going to be here? The break? There will be a break. Just in case he didn't, I think we go in for the temporal advantage, but now, the splash almost hit.
Oh, but again...
Tweedy.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate drop combo. Now we're going to see the crushing blow out of Tweedy. This needs to be mix-up into mix-up, or there's just no coming back. And Tweedy realizing that Okukui does not have an answer for the body splash. So many times now it's worked. Just hasn't found an answer, and just needs one more hit, and the forward 3 is going to be it. The 3-0 comeback from Tweedy after going on 2 games straight to the Cetrion. And the Sandcastle is going to be the period at the end of the sentence.
He's had to work really hard, getting sent to losers round 1 by Mighty Unjust, and then being able to claw his way back through losers. 3-2 against Biohazard, 3-2 against El Kakoi, and this is just for top 3, because now we're going into losers finals, which will be Tweedy versus Illuminati. So that's an even harder one to predict, because we know we're going to get Lao, but the question is, what variation are we going to get?
That is a great question, but just before we move on to that, I just want to talk about how good the Cetrion was looking from El Kakoi, but I'm not sure how much I like the switch to Sub-Zero at the end. Although it did look like it was starting to work, it did look like there was a little bit of like adaptations that needed to be made just to kind of readjust to get to be playing a new character after all of those Cetrion matches. And we did see some dropped combos, some situations that maybe could have been converted a little bit better. And I think that the Cetrion is something that we're going to see a lot more out of El Kakoi in the future, just not today.
I'm just kind of thinking about what we can see in this next matchup. Are we going to see that Buzzsaw come back in? I haven't seen Buzzsaw versus Geras before, so I can't really say I'm particularly educated on the matchup. But we've seen all kinds of we've actually seen all kinds of variations today from Illuminati. We've seen, I think, the most amount. Oh gosh, I get tired of seeing that Geras damage deer. But yeah, losers finals, we're about to start.
Yeah, so I would have to assume that Sand Trap in particular, the one that Tweedy uses, is very good against Buzzsaw, because you would just go behind the Buzzsaw if you did manage to Sand Trap it. I don't know how well that works from point blank or in block strings, but definitely a potential answer there. Also, maybe Body Splash is a potential answer, so we might just see some sort of Lotus Fist option. I don't know what Illuminati is most comfortable with, but like you said, he's used 3 separate variations today with different moves, and clearly he just has a whole bunch of them preset in case he needs some particular move in some particular matchup. But at least he knows what he's going to be fighting against in this matchup before it even begins.
For sure. We're both going into this with a lot of information, and it's hard to call this one, because Illuminati, like I said, I think the stats going into today's tournament was just 6 wins and 0 losses, which heavily suggests that this is Illuminati's first open series since 2021. And one hell of a debut, being able to get winners finals and give it one hell of a fight in those winners finals. Not being able to quite pull it off though, because that Jackie coming out in game 5 versus variation that definitely was not designed to beat Jackie. It was designed to fight Cetrion, right? So now we have to fight Geras. What's the choice? I'm looking forward to seeing the variation. Is it going to be one that we've seen already? Is it going to be a Lotus Fist, Buzzsaw? We're about to jump in, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, my best guess is I'm going to go ahead and predict Lotus Fist. I think that the Buzzsaw is just a little bit too vulnerable to the Sand Trap, and I don't think he's going to need the angled hat, because if you throw projectile and it gets red, then again, you're just going to get Sand Trapped. So my guess is we're going to see him go for full offense, and hey, he already picked, so we'll see in just a few seconds. Tweedy, I'm going to anticipate going with the exact same thing he's picked for the past 100,000 matches. No real mix-up there. And yep, it is going to be
Lotus Fist.
Wow, look at that.
This for me is a very American matchup. When you look at these variations, if we look at North American tournaments, the amount of times you would see Lotus Fist and Infinite Warden was a constant matchup in tournaments, especially during year 1 of ProCom.
It is true, although it's pretty funny that these are the 2 first characters that Foxy mained. It's just very different variations, right?
Gyrus Anti-Aris.
So yeah, when you said variations, it did make it very accurate. This is a very year one American type matchup, but you know, they're both very rare characters now for whatever reason in every region, and I don't really have an answer for that.
But we start off Illuminati good on the life, but how long that lasts? Oh, he's looking for the punish. That is one thing I love about that advancing forward too, the fact that he has got Orbiting Hat to cover it on block. And he side switches for good measure. Illuminati taking round 1 here.
That Lao play is so clean. Like, all the different conversions, all the knowledge of side switches, the double melee spin combos, they're not easy. They're very cool, but they're not easy. Ooh.
Oh, there's the buffer. Maybe that confidence coming back into Tweedy a little bit.
I mean, how can you not be confident after making a 3-0 comeback, right?
We're just going right back where we left off, really. Oh, Tweedy.
Ooh.
Doesn't quite get the trade.
That's pretty brave to even throw that, though. Oh, I find it hard to believe that there was no way to get any more conversion off of that, but the knockdown was nice. However, gets corner switched immediately.
Oh my
What?
god! The hat didn't disappear because I guess it's a separate form of attack. Oh god! Oh my god! Someone clip that.
Oh my, that is absolutely heartbreaking for Tweedy, but I wonder if that was intentional from Illuminati. That was, I mean, it's also strange that it was an up 3 and that the up 3 whiffed. If it was an up 2, I assume it would have comboed, but that was a very, very interesting interaction. And again, you know, it's one of those things that is absolutely tilting no matter who you are. When you're like, what? I did up 3, it just whiffed, and then the hat came back and hit me anyway, and then he comboed into Fatal Blow to kill me. So that's going to be tough. But of course, Tweedy's definitely going to have the composure. Still, though, rough life.
Yeah, it's just the way the hitbox is lined up there. It's the fact that the hat is a separate thing, and when he does the 2-1, Kung Lao's kind of like, when he throws it out, he's kind of like slightly leaning back as he throws it and stuff like that, and the hitboxes didn't line up. As simple as that, and it benefited for sure the Kung Lao. But game 1, and only game 1. This is going to be an interesting situation. If Tweedy's able to bring off a win here, he's going to have one hell of a final boss and a player that just 3-0'd him, but Illuminati made that winners finals a really close exchange.
Yeah, and he's already looking quite good in this lower bracket finals. See if he can repeat it. Oh, just starting off spending his meter. He's like, yeah, you know what? Let's just get this momentum. And lose it immediately. Oh, nice. That combo.
Putting out all the stops.
Ooh, brave counter poke, but it worked out very well, and now going to get a second opening. No defensive bar for Tweedy. And in the corner, anything's going to hurt a lot. Tries to splash out. Did he just flawless block the splash?
I think so. It completely messed up the timing because it allowed him to get a 1-2-1, although didn't get a confirm. Maybe he didn't have the meter at the time. Speaking of meter, more of it spent.
Yeah, that is the one big downside of this variation, is that sometimes you just can't get the conversions that you want. And also, you can pretty much never break away.
Another flawless block on that body splash. No buffer. Hang on a minute. There's the grab. Dunk it.
Oh. One more. Oh, he's live. Flawless blocked it! He flawless blocked it! Oh, that was a beautiful flawless block, but didn't matter in the end. Great 4-3 anti-air from Tweedy. Still, though, these flawless blocks, I mean, we haven't seen Illuminati killing it with the flawless blocks the rest of today. He's just been killing it with everything else, but clearly, he's got him.
Here we go, the dive kick. And this constant back and forth.
Wow, tons of patience here. The truest not true combo. Down 4 into sand trap.
Oh, we get to see the hat come back just in time. Oh, yep. Oh, 52%. Are you kidding me there?
I thought he was going to survive just barely. I thought he was going to be at like 1 life and then just have to fall his block another sand trap. But nope, the forward 1 crushing blow, too good. And so Tweedy pretty convincingly that time taking it back himself. I would not be surprised if this game or the set went to game 5.
I would expect nothing less for the way things are currently going. It would be fitting for North America, though, wouldn't it? Because I feel like the longer we go out into the later stages of the North American Open Series, we always hit those game 5s, those bracket resets, you know. It would be an opposite way, considering EU was so fast. I think we were just shy of a 3-hour show, which is not a common occurrence.
Yeah, we were like just wrapping up. We were like just finishing grand finals at this time in Europe, which is pretty wild. It was a nice day, you know, got a nice little break, but where I actually got to eat some food. Pretty wild. But not so much in North America. They always go the distance. We'll see, because if this one goes the distance, then we'll see if there's a reset. And if there is a reset, then we'll see if they go to the distance. Also, it's somewhat the classic. However, they're definitely showing signs that they want to extend our day time-wise in this set.
Now there's that flawless block. That mind game, the 1-1-1, you know, there's that kind of bonus damage if you ever get hit by the overhead, but I think it's more existing to create that flawless block situation. And oh dear.
Oh no, he pushed a button and didn't actually get a combo with the splash, but regardless, it's just all damage that's gonna add up. That no full combos really. This is just like raw little solid hits over and over. Oh, but this is a chance for a comeback. No defensive bar, never mind. As soon as it started, it ended. And so Tweedy taking the first round and still holding on to the corner.
Round 2, fight.
The whiff dive kick spacing from Illuminati is not something I'm used to. I'm going to be completely honest. And now, the meaty. Wow, the down 1. I'm pretty sure that string is slightly plus.
You know, both of these characters always challenging plus frames.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Same thing. This is clearly a setup though as well. It kind of looked like a little bit of a potential combo drop the first time, but I had my suspicions it was a setup, and then he did the same thing back to back. So absolutely. Oh, the block on the low. Letting it go. Yeah, that string is so cheeky. The one with the low sweep.
Yeah. Then he went for the actual sweep too, using all the weird unused strings. Of course, that sweep's pretty good, but it's pretty insane. Oh, okay, all of that full empty jump. Oh, escape failed at the end. That's a pretty big way to win. You know, I was like, okay, is he gonna get the corner? He's not, but might be more important.
Uh-oh, we begin. Yo, Tweedy straight up just holding down on his wake up there. No block to be had. Again, the down 1. The down 1s are coming out in force.
Yeah, as soon as this crushing blow throw is active, Tweedy's like, nope, you're not landing that on me. There it is. You are going to be landing it for sure. Oh, weird pickup. Oh no, could have just done spin instead of 2-1 into the full string, but you do have to pre-dial that string in pretty heavily, so totally
I think as well, because the fall, no punish, because he's crouching down. That is unfortunately a common problem. Oh god. And he does the hatless down too. The hatless down too.
Love the hatless down too. It's always so goofy looking for whatever reason. It's like, I don't think he knows how to use his arms when there's not like a hat involved. Just never learned the correct way, but yeah, very impressive so far from Illuminati. And again, they're just going back and forth. There's not really much to say about it.
And in this situation, I mean, I like those weird little catches, and even down to those small details as well. Like he hits the 2-1 in the air, the whole 2-1 string, and I don't think he was able to get spin because the last hit that would be special cancelable didn't hit, so he wasn't able to convert it into anything, but still able to keep that pressure on, and man, somehow able to squeeze the crushing blow throw in a situation where Tweedy was constantly holding down. Like, it takes a lot of bravery to still dedicate to a grab because of the reward that it brings. Tweedy was ducking for so much of that set. I was shocked to see the grab land, to be completely honest.
Yeah, he picked his point perfectly. Like
He did. It was the right time.
Yeah, meaty, and there he just did like mid, and then mid, and then mid, and then finally Tweety's like, okay, fine, he's not gonna grab, and then he grabbed, and it was just 100%. But that means Illuminati is 1 game away now, already spending all of his meter within the first like 5 seconds of this match. But Meterless combo gets rid of his defensive bar, and oh no, it's another chance. What is all of this stagger pressure? Confirmed.
Indeed.
Confirmed into the max damage standing 4 and the crushing blow. Look at that, 425. Ouch.
I think the cool thing about Tweedy is that he's not shy of just spending those resources. You know, it almost seems like he's a firm believer of, you can save it in some situations, sure, but when are you going to hit it? You know, do you think you have another chance of landing it? Because you're not going to land it every game. So it almost feels like he goes for it, right? He takes that damage for what it is, he rocks it. Whether it's the forward one, whether it's the armor break. In this case, Tweedy brings himself into another round.
Well, he's going to need it because he is kind of on his last life here. I mean, it's hard to say that, but last game life. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But looking good so far here. Oh, nice. Actually blocked the sand trap after down 4. After getting hit by the down 4. That's pretty rare occurrence. But something you got to be ready for against Darius. And again, gets hit by the body splash. He didn't press a button or anything there. I think that may have been an attempt at a flawless block. And unfortunately went awry. Oh. One hit of the spin hitting. All right, little hits adding up, but that's going to be a quick game 4. Yep, moving into the 5th game.
Geras wins.
So in this situation, it's impossible to tell who has this upper hand. The fact that Tweedy made that so quick in game 4 now means that, I mean, is it a 50-50 split here? Because we now need to have this conversation of who do we think has a better chance versus Unjust today? Because Tweedy having a hard time against Cetrion, there's no getting around that. Although he was able to start doing really well against El Kakoi, obviously. But Illuminati already made it close in winners finals, but that was a game of constantly changing characters and variations. So I think this is a hard question to answer. Who do we think has a better shot of winning this matchup?
I mean, you can vote in that based on what's in your heart, but if we look at the hard data, you have to say Illuminati, just based on what we've seen today, right? I mean, that was very close earlier, and then Tweedy did have some issues, but at least he did adapt really well to the El Kakui version of that matchup earlier, which means that maybe he unlocked something. You know, maybe something he found out is going to work out. Regardless, you know, the best person to take on Mighty Unjust, I think, is the one who earns it, and the winner of this match is going to be that person.
I agree.
Another throw.
Oh, the mix-up. This is the classic Tweedy effect where we're in the final game and he pulls out all the stops. I was half expecting him to do 1-1 sand trap there, but I think that's why he staggers it. He knows you're looking for him to over-dedicate. Oh, the trade. God, that savage trade. Oh my god, rare footage of using shifting sands. Tweedy, is your controller malfunctioning?
I genuinely think that may have been an accidental input. I don't
down 1, right?
Is it down? It's down on something, but I believe you. It's saying it's down on 1. I believe you in that. I just genuinely don't know, but yeah, he also. I mean, it's just not a character that generally has too much of an issue against it. I think because you can dive kick out or teleport out or just chill.
Oh dear.
Oh,
that's gonna hurt.
Fatal blow.
That's gonna scale like mad though, dude. That's not gonna kill. I'm sure it won't.
You're sure it won't? I think it might.
No, man. Trust me, it's Kung Lao's fatal blow. I never have confidence in it.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Oh, what a good bait, though. That was 100% intentional. He knew that was happening.
Round 2.
But that fatal blow would have been the greatest fatal blow to steal momentum, though. You've just spent all those resources, and then you lose the round? That would have been incredible. Tweedy taking the bet, but Illuminati not going to bite.
Yeah, but also, I mean, the fact that he hard read that fatal blow was also a momentum stealer in a way, you know. But it didn't really steal momentum; it just furthered his own momentum. It's like, yeah, not only did I just hit you with this gigantic combo, but I outread you immediately. And here we go, another big corner combo, but no bar, no offensive or defensive bar, which means that this is going to be the max damage that Geras can get. Super cashing out. Jump back splash. And the crushing blow, 437.
Just to create that gigantic situation. Another flawless block. Shut down any chip you can at this point. The whiff sand trap could have been a death sentence, but wait, side switching throw. Oh, he has the KB, of course.
I didn't even see him get it locked and loaded. He just needs one more hit. Actually, really, it's one more hit from either side here. No grab, though, from Tweedy.
But he has fatal blow, and that's the one thing Illuminati does not have.
Oh, he got past it.
Threaded the needle with that knee.
Oh, he's got another one. Oh, and that one's gonna hit, and Illuminati is going to take it. Tweedy managing to get through the first orbiting hat beautifully, but not two. Second time's the charm, showing the power of that variation. And so Illuminati, okay, so I have to say, how is it that there's this player who is going toe-to-toe with both Tweedy and Mighty Unjust and Biohazard, and either defeating them or like being one hit away from defeating them, and yet is not a well-known player, right? Like it's so hard to believe.
Well, I think with how things have gone so far, I highly doubt this is going to be the last time we see Illuminati in the Open Series, because this was, I'm pretty sure by the stats alone, this was Illuminati's first week in 2021. We'd seen him before, but not this year. And with this much of a statement to make, considering Biohazard and Tweedy and Mighty Unjust, they've all been the dominant forces, and the only person he's lost to so far has been Mighty Unjust, and even that was as close as anything. I think he's going to be feeling pretty good about his chances to get a win. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is still a totally impossible to predict grand finals. And I mean, I do hope that we get to see more of Illuminati after today. I mean, there's got to be a reason why he didn't enter. And it's definitely not because he wasn't, it's not because he was doing badly. Clearly, he finally did enter, got 6-0, and then now is in grand finals. But for whatever reason, I guess he just couldn't enter. That's life, See the same thing with Sunio, which is really unfortunate. But hopefully, after today, some things in his schedule changed or something, and we get to see a lot more of him. But we've still got a lot more to watch of him in the grand finals against the Mighty Unjust. And the question is, who will the Mighty Unjust choose? Do you think he's going to be sticking with the Jackie starting off?
I feel like it's going to sound like the most safest bet ever, but it's fair to think that it's probably going to be one of the two, right? He plays so many different characters, yeah, sure, but that battle it's going to come down to winning that first game again, because that final counter pick, or at least character change for the comfort, that was Mighty Unjust, because he won game one, and then the second we saw the specific Kung Lao variation designed to fight Cetrion that then Jackie fights and doesn't have as much of a time worrying about, versus the Lotus Fist, which was the one that beat Jackie. This first match is going to mean everything. So I think Mighty Unjust is going to have to Hidden Cursor this, because you can't let Illuminati take the variation against your character, because we know it's going to be Lao. We just don't know which one. And he needs to make a read here, and Hidden Cursor is your ticket to making him force the read.
Yeah, I mean, Mighty Unjust is the master of Hidden Cursor, for sure. We've seen some pretty fun situations with that. But I think an alternate thought just to think of, an alternate line of what could potentially happen is Mighty Unjust is also not averse to trying things out in the Open Series to see if they work or not. And with that pre-reset pillow that he has, there is a chance that I mean, there's a chance for sure that he tries something new, like, let's say,
we saw a Jax from him the other day, Jax.
That's true. Jax was sick. I always want to see more Jax.
Me too.
So I'm going to vote for that. And I think that's how this works, right? Whatever character we vote for, he has to play. Okay, that's not what I expected, actually, at all.
Now, I don't know if it's the same now in Ultimate, but I do know that before Ultimate came out, Warlock versus any Lao variation, Lao players did not like. And I think that, yeah, he's got Buzzsaw and Possessed Hat here. So we'll see if the Buzzsaw gives him a better chance. But this is very much the Shang Tsung is coming out. I haven't seen Unjust Shang Tsung in forever.
Yeah, me neither, but this is going to pick at the start of this grand finals, so we'll see how it does. And especially, I don't know how this variation does against Buzzsaw. I literally have no idea what the interactions are, so we're going to learn something today.
Oh yeah, I've not seen this variation before at all. If it was Lotus Fist or something, I'd be like, right, Shang Tsung has the advantage, but I wonder what the Buzzsaw at distance will be able to create, because now Shang Tsung has the life lead, he'll trade for you all day. I don't think he's going to care.
Yeah, this is looking very reminiscent to the El Capoy match that we saw earlier. Oh, I love the attempt. I love the attempt, but it doesn't matter what's going on. Smoke Shake is always going to hit you. I don't think anybody's found a setup to make it whiff or anything yet, which would be really cool.
I tell you what, if you have Orbiting Hat and Teleport and he Smoke Shakes you, it actually puts Kung Lao in a stagger state where you get a full combo. It's insane. Because when he reappears and he gets hit out of it, it's almost like that's just the default situation that it puts Kung Lao in. But yeah, he gets stunned.
Wow. Well, you know,
oh dear.
I wouldn't be too surprised if that did end up happening with some sort of Buzzsaw teleport interaction too, but we'll see if he even attempts that again.
I'm going to be honest with you, Chef. I kind of feel like on paper this matchup just got worse because Warlock caused Shang Tsung trouble because of the ground eruption, and that was it. And now you can take ground eruption and shake. So you can now absorb his projectiles. So it went from bad to worse, surely.
That is true. I mean, that's another thing that for some reason we haven't seen post-Ultimate is the fact that now one of the better zoners in the game, easily one of the best zoners in the game, has some of the best counter-zoning in the game, which is definitely necessary, but nobody uses it, and it's very, very weird to see. But you can see exactly the strength of this variation right now as Illuminati is trying to escape the Fireball Forest, and the one way to escape it is death.
Now, you can clearly see why Shang Tsung was the pick. Illuminati, there's no doubt he has fought Shang Tsung in his time. You're a Kung Lao player, you play competitively, you've probably fought a couple of opponents that like to try and counterpick you by picking Shang, because it was a common situation. My question is now, what is the next play? Because is there even a Kung Lao variation that can do well versus Shang? Because you can't throw projectiles, the Orbiting Hat won't work in Lotus Fist because the Shake will completely nullify all of it. So I'm not particularly sure what he's going to do here, Chef. This could be really hard.
Yeah, the funny thing was I was thinking so hard about, like, okay, how does ground eruption interact with Lao that I didn't even think about the fact that Shake exists, which is going to completely negate it. What did he switch to? I missed it.
Spiritual Guidance, the great Kung Lao stance.
Would you believe this is the second official tournament in a row that I've commentated where Spiritual Guidance Lao has been in grand finals?
But to be fair, Chef, whilst that is insane, I don't think Smoke Shake is going to work against Spiritual Guidance in some of the situations.
Yep. They're not projectiles. They don't count as projectiles. At the very minimum, the ground one, that one that we just saw right there, is not a projectile. I can't believe what's going on. I don't know, my Mortal Kombat commentary career is blessed right now with Spiritual Guidance Kung Lao. It's one of the coolest variations in the entire game.
Oh, that's not a good trade. Geras Shang Tsung. Oof. Now, the problem is with that great Kung Lao stance is that there's a lot of startup on it, so using it far away is going to be kind of tricky. Flawless block.
On the bright side, the damage out of that stance is pretty high. And
it gives him a meterless auto shimmy, right? 1-2-1 into Spiritual Guidance launch.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly is like the highest damage that the character can get is just, in general, just taking that. You get a lot of different meters opportunities, or even spending more for meter. But you know what? Still, it's the ground eruption game.
But I think that although up close, I think he has a better chance, it's really not helping his situation from range. And range is the number one goal here for Mighty Unjust. He's just using 1-1-2. He doesn't want a full combo, he just wants to send you full screen. His damage comes from the projectiles.
Yeah, I mean, I get the idea here is that it does give you one of the only options from full screen that isn't shakeable, but also for whatever reason, Mighty Unjust is just super comfortable trying to deal with this. And you see it right there. I mean, it's 111 damage. That is a lot of damage for a projectile, technically.
Oh, but he can reversal punish it. So this is not looking like a... Oh dear. One of those breakaways.
Okay, I did not know he could reversal punish it because this is such a rare matchup that almost no characters in the game can punish it if you're using it as a projectile. But Shang Tsung is Shang Tsung.
Oh, he's gonna get a jump in. Oh no, he just keeps it nice and simple. A jump in actually would have killed him, but at this point, who cares? And that's another game on the board. Illuminati, you either stick at this variation or you change character. And I don't know what his call is here.
Without a doubt, this is the first time that we've ever seen Illuminati look lost, I think, where he just needs to find something. I think it would make sense if he went to the Lotus Fist, went back to it, just because even though you're not really going to be using it and then moving in, at least it gives you more options in pressure that the Shake is just going to not... Shake's not going to do anything, right? Because it's going to be like down 1 or down 3 into the orbiting hat. So I'd like to see that. But on the other side, I want to have this discussion as we're seeing who he's going to pick. Oh,
yeah,
Garrus. Okay, before we have the discussion.
So, right, with Garrus, and the fact that he's looking... Wait, is he just looking through... He's looking through default variations, I'm pretty sure. He doesn't have any custom variations. This is a desperation pick.
That's rough. But also, to be fair, Infinite Warden is still a good variation. The main reason...
Why.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because Garrus is the only character that can punish the corpse drop, and it's because he is taller than everyone else. So the corpse hits him earlier than anyone else, which gives him enough time to reversal sand trap, and he can punish it. Foxy Grandpa was at Final Combat asking Paolo if he can shrink Garrus in the next patch, just so that doesn't happen, like genuinely. Anyway, sorry to cut you off, but I thought that was a great opportunity to bring up that hilarious little detail.
No, that is very funny. It used to be that people would talk about tall hitboxes and they'd be like, oh yeah, that's bad. You know, I mean, think about Mortal Kombat 9. You tell anybody's a standing or crouching tall hitbox and it's like, it's the worst. But Garrus, he's like, oh no, I'm owning that. But wait, didn't work out. He wasn't in the right spacing to punish. And we'll see how well he actually can play Garrus. That's the question. I mean, so far we've seen a lot of sand traps, which, hey, it works and life is even, but now's the big test. And
oh my God.
That's the big reason. Did he just soul steal Garrus? Oh no, this is Mighty and Justice feeling himself, and that's a bad thing.
He's gonna morph, but he's got plus frames, so he's gonna reappear safely. You know, if I've become Garrus, I'm just gonna do 1-1 low or 1-1 overhead. You know what I mean? I may as well try and cash out on that overhead, but it's gonna be a tournament point for Mighty and Justice. Oh, he's being rude. He's being rude.
This is one of the only characters that you can easily get their crushing blows in time, right? And you just take them. But this is very rude, being a very rude dude.
He's gonna morph after the grab. So again, he should get it safely.
Crushing blow, crushing blow. Oh no! I mean, I guess he thought that maybe there was a little bit more time there. Oh, good conversion.
He's spending more time as Garrus than Shang in this game.
I know. I mean, that's always been one of the scariest things about Mighty and Justice, that back when he used to use Shang Tsung morph, he would also morph, like, non-trollingly morph, because he knows every character really well. And that's kind of strong for a Shang player. But right now, maybe we're going to see more Shang out of him, because he just 3-0'd Illuminati after such a close set in the upper bracket finals. This one was pretty one-sided. And I mean, obviously, we have to look at Illuminati's run today and just talk about how amazing it was. But it says so much that Mighty Unjust found an answer that was such a strong roadblock. I mean, when you are able to defeat Biohazard convincingly, and then Tweety, and take the final game to the kind of like more of the main of the super top tier mains of Mighty Unjust, but then Shang Tsung appears on screen and suddenly there's just not much you can do. That's something we're talking about.
It's the matchup. Like I know there's definitely people out there that do not like this style of play, the hyper defensive zoning and stuff like that, but guess what? Fighting game archetypes exist for a reason, and Shang Tsung is one of the most keep weight oriented characters with this variation. He can be rushed down. We've seen Desarted play him with all the morphs, and he can brawl when he needs to, but this was a matchup specific purpose to be served. It was, I'm fighting Kung Lao. Shang Tsung is probably Kung Lao's hardest matchup, and you're fighting Illuminati, who is a specialist. He went to Garrus in this final game because I think it was, he just did not believe in his Lao's chances at all, and this was a desperation pick. If he lost this, he's probably gonna have to fight Jackie, and then probably lose to the Jackie, to be honest with you. But that's why he picked the character. It was a smart pick for Mighty Unjust. He plays a bunch of characters. Shang Tsung beats Kung Lao really badly, and he's playing in a tournament for crying out loud. Of course he's gonna do it. But that's now where we are. My Unjust reclaiming his throne today. But yeah, I got to agree with you, Chef. Illuminati, I got to give him props for the path that he had. He was able to take out Biohazard, he defeated Tweedy 3-2. That's an impressive showing, all the same. But we have more Mortal Kombat lined up throughout the rest of the month. And now we have a monthly finals as well. There's only a few more of these for March, and then we'll be finished. BB Tag, Under Night, and Soul Calibur 6 can all be found with their respective monthly finals. You can find the schedule in front of you, March 30th, 29th, and 31st. And it's as simple as that. Go to compete.playstation.com. Chef, cheers for joining me again here, mate. Always a pleasure having you on the show. Before I wrap this up, is there anything you want to say to the people at home?
I can't believe that we got to see Spiritual Guidance Lao again. That's something weird, but I'm super pumped about it. My big thing is I just want to see more Illuminati in general. I really, really hope that he gets to enter more of these tournaments and show off more of what that Lao is made of. But aside from that, it's been great matches today, and I'm just happy with what we got to see.
That's all we have time for today, everyone. Thank you for sticking around with us, whether you've been here for EU and NA, maybe just NA. Cheers for spending your time with us. We appreciate it very much, especially with what's going on in the world right now. You know, we'll chill out, sit and watch some Mortal Kombat, have a good time, and we'll do the same thing, same time, same place next week. My name has been Ketchup, joined by Wonder Chef. Thank you so much for tuning in to PS4 Tournament, Sony, for all of your continued support in the FGC. We very much appreciate it, especially the Mortal Kombat scene with our constant opportunities to shine, show the world what they bring to the competitive table, and finally, the hard-working production team behind the scenes making all of these shows possible. Thanks so much one last time for joining us. We'll see you next week. Take care and peace out. To watch out, Buzzsaw! Oh! Oh my god, someone clip that.
PlayStation.
Jokes, no gimmicks, just combat.